Welcome to Cosplay, Togs All Things Nerdy. I'm iPhoto UK, and I'm joined by my usual podcast host partner, Switch_8.9. We have a couple of guests on with us this month, and we're going to be talking about essentially 2025. This is our year-end sort of roundup episode. We're going to have a chat about what events we've been to, what out-of-con projects we worked on, what we liked, what we didn't like, and also have a little bit of a chat about what 2026 holds for us all. So let's introduce our guests on this episode. So first of all, we have Dan. So Dan, tell everyone a little bit about yourselves, how they can find you on Instagram, and tell us about how you came up with that name.
Yeah, so if you don't know me as Dan, it's Kaermorhen.cos. So obviously Kaermorhen from The Witcher. I'm obviously, anybody who knows me, I'm a big Witcher nerd. So it's pretty easy for me to just shut that together, you know. So that's me. It used to actually be Kaermorhen because that was like my gamer tag. Because obviously I'm, hilarious with things like that. So, but yeah, then I just changed it. I thought it was a little bit more serious, so I just changed it. So yeah, that's it really. UK-based cosplayer. Cosplayed a bit of everything, I suppose, meaning, Marvel, DC, a lot of superhero stuff. But now I mainly do like medieval fantasy-based cosplays, and that's what I'm kind of moving towards now, I think. So, yeah.
Yes. Excellent. We also have Tom joining us on this episode. So, Tom, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Oh, for those that don't know me, Clicks83, formerly TR Photography, but I had to change my name just because it was boring and I felt like something different. Upon perusing Instagram, there was about 15 or so dead accounts that had TR Photography, and they were getting a lot of traffic. So, yeah, I had to change my name. Been togging cosplay for about 4 years, amongst other things. I'm not primarily a cosplay photographer, but I used to cosplay myself, so I love doing cosplay photography. About it, really.
Excellent. Nice. So as you said, we're going to be chatting a little bit about the year, really, how it's been for everyone, what we've all been up to, what events we've been to. But we're going to start with a little bit of an MCM winter wash up. So we're going to have a little chat about MCM October, London, and a chat about November, Birmingham. So, Switch, do you want to take us off on this one? I know obviously it was a busy event and there were some changes. So
yeah, starting with London in October, it's generically quite busy time being that it's London. I think it was the second time round that they decided to do the EGX event as well at the London one, which I wasn't overly impressed with this time round. I feel like
same.
It kind of got left as like an afterthought, or they just want to kind of add
definitely.
that brand in there as it's obviously Repop's gaming event, and it kind of didn't really go anywhere with it this year. I don't feel like.
I remember us walking around and we kind of didn't even realize that some of the stuff was EGX. I know that was certainly the case at Birmingham, which we'll come on to in a moment. But even at London, it just felt like two MCM sides with a little bit of gaming stuff. Like last year, it was really gaming orientated. I felt the whole mood and vibe in there was set differently. The lighting was down. It was more colourful. This year, the two sides just felt the same, or too similar, we'll say, which is a shame because I was really excited when they said they were bringing EGX back this year, because last October I really loved it.
Also, last October they kind of also were doing a bit more commercial stuff. Like you had like Sneak there, you had Samson, you had more high-up brands. I know that's not important for a con, but it felt like they were trying to bring some of that back into the event as well.
Definitely.
That's weird because they have that, like, at obviously the American cons.
Mm.
We don't have any, almost none at all commercialization. Maybe like Insomnia, they did quite a lot, obviously, but they're multinational companies, whereas like at cons, we don't see any of that whatsoever.
No. I feel like we used to see more of it at events like MCM years ago, and it's kind of like
just
drifted off
disappeared.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like you said, like Insomnia, God rest its soul, was. I think that was a really good vibe for having a lot of the commercial stuff. Like, you used to have Monster giving out.
You'd associated it with it, though, wouldn't you? You wouldn't associate brands with a con.
No, but I guess the gaming side you perhaps would, which is why I'm surprised that they didn't do that for either October or November.
Thing is, I've done EGX years and years ago. I think it was around just before COVID. And when I went there, you had likes of PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. You had, at the time, it was the new Modern Warfare remakes were coming out. You had the Avengers game. You had loads of other sort of PC companies. I think Nvidia were there at one point. So you had a lot of gaming brands in sort of only half of where MCM would be anyway. So kind of when they brought the idea of that coming back, I kind of really thought, that's kind of where they were going to be going again with it. But it kind of just feels like
so
MCM's just, not MCM, Repop have just kind of gone, we've got this, gaming's sort of, it's still big, but like the convention side will be dying out, and they're going to kind of merge the two together, which then would give it a nice clear indication that you've got your gaming element mixed in with your standard MCM stuff. Because in the summertime, we had a lot more book related stuff and a lot more fantasy type stuff in the May, which was quite nice. It was nice to have that sort of divide. And then we knew in October they were bringing back EGX, and I thought, oh, they're quite cool. Let's see what they could bring out. And it's not like there's a shortage of games out there at the moment, so it would have been nice to see a bit more from the gaming element.
But all you see now is like a small corner with like retro gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't really have a proper gaming convention in the UK.
I would say 95% of cosplay is game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's, a large portion of the cosplays that I shoot are game based. And I'm a gamer myself, and I would love to be able to sort of properly mix the two, and be able to meet and see and check out some of the brands, some of the latest games, some of the latest tech. But yeah, it's just a bit. It kind of felt a bit half-hearted, if I'm honest, which is a shame.
Like I was saying, it just felt like they were trying to just keep that brand sort of relevant by attaching it to MCM and having it as MCM EGX, which when we're looking at it, it kind of feels like what they've done, like what they're trying to copy what MegaCon have done, where they have the gaming section where you have the retro gaming and bits and pieces there. And it just seems like a carbon copy of that. Whereas EGX was never that. EGX was its own sort of event. It was all dedicated to gaming and side of that.
I mean, they did it, I think, because they initially bought it under the MCM umbrella, I think, because it was losing money, I believe. It wasn't as popular. And I guess it was a good way to save money, because obviously it's all Repop and they could just put on the one event. So one venue cost, which kind of makes sense, but I just feel like they've missed a bit of a trick this time around. I don't know. What were your thoughts on London, Dan?
I mean, you know, I love MCM London. Like, I am a big fan of it. The social side of it and everything. It's mega expensive, obviously, which is the main downfall of MCM London. Like, it's very expensive, hotel wise, and especially if you want to be on the west side of the XL.
Yes, yeah.
You want to be, normally, if you're going down for the socials, you want to be there, and the hotels take advantage of that, of course.
Yeah, because they do.
It's not MCM's fault. But overall, MCM May, amazing with the EGX, push. I thought it was great. Like you say, Samsung there with the motorbike, very, very cyberpunky. I saw you'd got some shots with Terry, and and things. It's really cool. But October, yeah, not so much. But I'd hate to be running MCM because you've got to cater for so many people, so many different niches. I mean, look how big D&D is getting now.
Yeah.
So you've got to put D&D in with like modern gaming, with retro gaming, and now they're starting to do LARP things. And then obviously there's all the cosplay side of it. And now, I saw they were pushing a bit of Warhammer and miniature kind of stuff there in October, and like to get it all in one venue. I think the MCM team do pretty well, and I know we've compared it to like New York Comic Con because obviously that's Repop as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the budget, obviously, for London versus New York Comic Con is significantly.
Well, you've got a much smaller audience as well, haven't you? We are a small island compared to, New York Comic Con has got the pick of a much larger area where people can get sort of short haul flights. I know people that fly there from the UK, so you've got a much larger audience, so therefore a bigger budget, arguably a much better venue with the Javits Centre than XL. But also they've got to keep it cost effective. It can't, they can't have everything, and everything they have costs money. And when they are selling space to stalls and traders and businesses, not everyone's going to want to do it. It's a tough time in the economy, so it is seen as a luxury event for the majority of people. So I can't imagine that it's an easy sell. I still think there's a lot of wasted space at the XL. You've got probably half the halls that just aren't used.
That's probably more to do with the health and safety thing.
Yeah, I'd just love to see, I don't know, even if they just had one hall that they opened up, had some backdrops in there and some bits and pieces where photographers could actually go and use light stands.
Exactly.
Or go and take photos.
See, they did not last year, the year before. They had an area like that right at the main entrance just after your tickets. You remember how they had all the grey walls put in?
Yeah.
And then you went down the red carpet and then there's a con. But before that, there was 2 huge areas. And they always used to have them open. And then it just seems in the past
they used to.
2 years, nothing. Like, you're in that hall, you're not going anywhere else.
No, exactly. Yeah. Which is a shame. And, even if they did something where you'd got to have a dedicated photographer's pass to access these areas, and then you had to do that, you had to submit public liability insurance or something like that to, get around issues of health and safety and things like that. I just feel like they could do a little bit more. But again, if you open up extra areas, you've got to have extra security, which costs extra money, and it's
a lot of it's to do with, obviously,
it?
It's like fire escapes, how many people you can have in, depending on how many fire escapes you can have. But the thing is, if you had a dedicated area for photographers, I was thinking about what I said to you the other week, you're going to want to get people in there with the phone cameras as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you have backdrops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's
going to be tough. It'd be tough to police, and you'd have to have extra staff. And I think that's kind of like a pipe dream for us, really, to be fair, because I think, it probably wouldn't be commercially viable. It probably wouldn't bring in any extra ticket sales, but it'd be more of a headache and more costly for them to run overall. But I did enjoy October. I mean, we managed to get an apartment. The 4 of us, me, Switch, and both of our partners, Nat and Steph, literally just over the bridge. And I think that was like 800 quid Friday to Monday. So, you can do it cheaper than the hotels if you're prepared to like share with people and sort of look around a little bit. But it is not cheap, same as you said, Dan. It is the most expensive con in the UK. I mean, I went like pre-pandemic, I was always paying less than £300 for a weekend for my accommodation.
I think Liverpool and Birmingham are slowly catching up with it, though.
Manchester as well.
Yeah, especially the hotels that are localised to the venue.
I first went to MegaCon Manchester, and I didn't go Did I go last year? I didn't go this
No, you
year.
didn't go.
I think I went last year and I
you
went
did.
the year before. The first year I went, 2023, I think we paid around $350. Then we couldn't get a hotel for less than 600 quid the second year. So we had an apartment and shared with a friend and managed to keep the cost down a little bit. We didn't go this year because hotels and apartments were horrendous. But the problem is they hold it the same weekend as Monopoly and the same weekend as Manchester Day. So it just pushes the prices up like through the roof, which is a shame. But I think, like you say,
Two in
more and more,
Manchester as
more
well,
and
isn't
more
it?
events now are
Popping up.
starting to see issues with costs rising purely because hotels and accommodation are cottoning on to the dates. I mean, we'll come on to the MCM Birmingham date change in a little while, but when I looked before MCM Birmingham for the typical dates that it would normally be for next year, hotel prices for MCM Birmingham were horrendous. And then even just after they announced the new dates, it was dirt cheap, you know? But yeah, I did enjoy London. I found this time it was a little bit disjointed because with the new area down the bottom end, they'd kind of put Cosplay Central, the exhibition, the main stage all down at that far end of XL, down at the loft end. And then everything else was back up at the west end. And then you kind of got that middle area where there were all the halls were closed, nothing going on. And it kind of just felt like a bit of a no man's land. And you literally got to be walking from one end of the XL to the other to do different things. I mean, me and Switch ended up shooting outside down near the loft nearly all weekend because it was dead. There's no one down there, and it was interesting. Security didn't really bother anyone, but it was a trek. Just keep walking. I think I was averaging about 30,000 steps a day, just because we were walking from one end to the other constantly. So yeah, it wasn't. It was nice having those new areas.
I think on that, it was like I said, it was nice that they managed to actually get down that
Yeah.
end, and I
Yeah.
like what they did with the main stage with putting it in the main ICC area, and they had the holding the line area down there as well for it, and have that little bits and pieces. It was nice. But I think looking at it from a hindsight point of view now, it's like you said that there was a middle halls. It's like almost if they pushed MCM just down by 2 halls, and then that might have resolved that sort of.
It
point
also
there.
wasn't like down at the west end. It wasn't very well signposted what was down at the east end. When you got to the east end, it was, but back down at the other end, it wasn't. Did you wander down that end at all, Dan? Or
Yeah, I went down the far end because they had the one of the stages there. I went and watched the panel down that far end. It's downstairs, isn't it? Down the east. I can't
That's
remember
right,
what stage
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
But normally I like never go down that end, and it took me a while to actually find that stage. I was like, I had the little map and everything, and I was walking around trying to find this thing in time, and everything's a rush when you're there, isn't it? You've been rushed, or bumped into somebody, or gets up for a photo or whatever. So I was like, just panic mode, not panic mode, but I was like sweating. I was like, I just want to sit down somewhere, wigs in my face, just give me a beer. Like I'm done for the day. But yeah, right down over into the halls, like crazy for that. But I liked. I mean, I feel like May. I know I've gone back to May, and I know we're discussing October, but I feel like the layout in May. I thought they've nailed it here.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I thought perfect, and then I got there in October. I thought I know my way around, like no problem. And then I was like,
and then they changed everything.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's not there. Like,
Yeah.
and it changes every time.
May for me felt like the MCMs of old. So like pre-pandemic or just after pandemic, it felt like that great middle ground. The vibe was great. The layout was great. They'd put some work in with Excel, so there's no issues with security as a photographer. But October just felt like that. The layout was disjointed. EGX was a little bit lacking, and And despite the communication generally insinuating that the same rules and communication applied with regards to photography as in May, that definitely wasn't the case. I had so many people tell me that they'd had issues with taking photos. It was unreal. Even
I heard a
down,
lot.
even like we're not even talking like about using light stands or freestanding equipment here. We're talking literally one friend of mine, he was on his way outside the west entrance to shoot a group of 3 or 4 cosplayers. They even walked out separately, and he just had his camera over his shoulder, and he went to go down the stairs down towards the Fox, and security ran after him, shouting, "You can't shoot at here, you can't do this unless you got permission or a permit, blah, 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 you can't." And literally, he hadn't even got his camera in his hand to shoot. It was over his shoulder. And just got a lot of hassle from security, literally, just for walking outside with his camera. And that's a similar story I heard from quite a few people.
I heard that they're literally, because of that, it's getting very similar to how they treat stadiums. You're basically not allowed in now with a DLSR.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can conceal
With
weapons in them, obviously, because of the lenses,
equipment.
but
Yeah.
it's tragic, but
Yeah, I mean, we go back to this all the time, don't we? Every con where, I mean, there's always an issue like this with shooting and photography, but MCM, like themselves, try the best, don't they?
They put some
comes down the XL every time, and whoever's on the door that day, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It does.
I mean, MCM put some amazing work in back in May to alleviate these problems, and I think my understanding is that they believed that it was the same. They'd put the work in, but it clearly wasn't. And XL even communicated themselves that they'd suspended permits and you could take photos. However, that message clearly wasn't rolled out to everyone. I remember me and Switch outside. We were about to go and shoot with a cosplayer and just deciding where to go and shoot. And a couple of people said that they just had issues shooting outside of the barriers. They weren't even using artificial light, any freestanding equipment, just camera. And they'd been told they couldn't use professional equipment outside the barrier area. They needed permission, blah, blah, blah. So I said to Tom, I said, like, right, okay, let's go and shoot outside. I didn't want to provoke an issue or an argument, but I wanted to see if we would get stopped, to see if we would be challenged. At that point, I said to Tom, I said, have your phone ready, because if we do have an interaction, I want to record it. I'll be polite and professional, get the information, so that we can at least relay it back to the relevant people and we can have the two-way conversation. We went and went and shot down by the river. There was both myself and Switch. We were using a light stand. We were shooting with a cosplayer, and we had 0 issues. And we must have been shooting for what, Switch? About an hour?
About that. We even had multiple.
Yeah, we even had security walk past and just look at us and keep walking.
Some of them would stop and have a look and then carry on.
I will say, we had all got creator passes on display. And also, we were shooting in a very professional manner, in which case, when I was shooting, Switch had the light stand held with both hands, clearly protecting it, clearly guarding it, making sure it couldn't cause any issues. And so probably in the safest way that we possibly could. So whether that made an issue or whether it was just different security at that time compared to the other people that had issues, I don't know. But even down at the east side, when we're shooting outside the loft, most of the weekend, we were shooting with artificial light all weekend. And we had no issues at all with security. They were just coming out and watching.
Having a conversation, and that was it, really.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just very, very mixed stories. And I think this is part of the problem, in that MCM can do all the legwork and put in a lot of groundwork to sort the issues. But if this isn't communicated via XL to every single one of their security, then it's not going to make any difference because there is always going to be some that cause issues.
They're going to use outside firms as well, aren't they? They're not going to use the same people every time.
We've got to reiterate that
Exactly.
what we're talking about here with security, this isn't about MCM, because obviously MCM doesn't control the security. So I just want to make this clear for like anyone listening. It's like we're not digging at MCM because obviously they can only do so much. They put the information out. They're doing what they can.
Well, I think
they do
MCM
the
made
due
a lot
diligence,
of.
but it's the venue as well, isn't it?
I think MCM have made a lot of improvements in that sense, trying to resolve these issues. We saw that in May. It's just a shame that for some people,
it kind of comes down to the venue more than anything at this point. And it's starting to become very clear that it's the venue that is sometimes is the issue, and it's not necessarily MCM.
It'll be interesting to see if we have the same issues at MegaCon in January, but that's for the 2026.
You more than likely will. That's what I was.
I think we'll probably have more issues because MegaCon don't have that outside area, essentially. And if there's other events on in the venue, exactly. They only get part of the venue, whereas MCM hire the venue exclusively. So, but yeah, it's a shame. You know, overall though, I still had a really good event. I got some great shots, some very different shots to what I normally get because we're shooting in a different place. Overall, I was absolutely knackered. I was wiped out. It was extremely cold, so it set my back off, which didn't help. But you know, it was a fun event. The socials were great.
I think that's the thing, innit? A lot of us go predominantly for socials, catch up with friends. Totally. MCM, like London, June or October, it's the biggest event Comic-Con wise in the UK. We know that we're going to see people we haven't seen. We didn't see them in May. We know we're going to see them in October. You know, so it's one of them that it is more of a social element now versus something else. You know, there's so many people all over the country, and it's the one place that people can get together and actually have a few drinks. You know, I'm not sure if Dan can remember most of his nights out, but
I've all been there.
Certainly have.
No comment.
But yeah, you know, it is a shame though that I keep coming back to it, that you know, some of the hotel costs they're almost pricing some people out of events, and I think that's why we're seeing more and more. Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing more and more people move to some of the smaller events, and you know, again, that's not the fault of the events themselves. You know, I see people complaining that MCM ticket prices, but actually, when
they
you
haven't
look
really
at
changed over the years.
In the last few years, no, they haven't. I mean, when I first started going to MCM, it was about 50, 60 quid. So, you know, over that sort of 8 years or whatever, the prices have gone up, but then hasn't everything?
Yeah. And I don't think it's gone up like exponentially. Like,
no, it hasn't. Certainly, I think this year was the same price as last year. And then that was not far off the price of the year before. So, like a couple of quid here and there, I don't really think
it's only about a turn of difference, really, if you think about it.
I think if anything, I think there's only probably like a couple of quid difference between
it's probably below inflation, isn't it? It's probably below inflation.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, it is. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, people are saying that Birmingham's a lot more expensive than it used to be. Well, yeah, it is, but you've also got a third day now. You know, you can't compare Birmingham now to Birmingham like 5-6 years ago because you've got 3 days, you know, versus it used to be 2 days before. So naturally, it's going to be more expensive.
We can do what I do and buy a ticket and not even go in.
Yeah. I mean, Birmingham's a bit of an oddball event, to be fair.
For photographers,
I used to love shooting at the NEC. And then the last couple of years, I kind of fell out of love with it a bit. But I will say, I really enjoyed it this time round. I did kind of like the last part of the day on the Friday. I don't normally go on the Friday at all. Did like the last couple of hours or whatever, just had a wander around. I think I got there about 2:00. Didn't even take my camera out of the bag, just put it straight in the cloakroom. Had a wander around, chatted to a few people, went and sat in Spoons, had a beer. and that was a Friday. It felt really busy over the weekend, probably busier than I've seen it before at Birmingham. But I think the vibe
It's
felt
last
really
con of the
chilled
year,
this
isn't
time.
it?
Yeah. But the vibe felt a lot more relaxed than I'm used to feeling at Birmingham. It was
They
really
changed the
nice.
layout massively inside as well.
Yeah.
Obviously with the open stage.
Yeah. Now that I really, really liked. That was probably one of the best layout changes I've seen them do.
It's like what they did at Star Wars Celebration.
Yes, a few people said that too. In fact, you said that, Switch.
Yeah, I did, because I attended Celebration when it was in London. But that, for me, when I saw that, I was like, do you know what? That is a smart move to do.
It makes it more of an event as opposed to...
Yeah, because you can just walk up and just, who's on stage? Oh,
it makes it feel more inclusive.
It makes it feel like a part of the show. Like, it makes you feel like even if you're just wandering around, you can still feel a part
more
of it
intimate.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I felt EGX was a bit of a letdown, even more so at Birmingham. I mean, we were wandering around, and when I got there on, I think, the Friday, Switch said to me, I haven't done the EGX part yet, so we'll do that on Saturday morning. We wandered around, and he realised he'd actually done the EGX bit. He just hadn't realised.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice it was an EGX. I just kind of was just wandering around, and I just was like,
really, really lackluster.
I literally went in on the Saturday morning, and I had to meet someone inside. We were in there for 10 minutes, and I came back out. I didn't even notice it.
I didn't even know there was going to be EGX, because like EGX for May were put for London, but for October as well, were posting on their own socials, not just MCM's. But I didn't see them post anything about going to Birmingham in October. And I didn't even think it was EGX until I saw, I think it was Dex, put a video together saying, oh yeah, it's EGX as well. I was like, I did not know that. And then I got there, and it was just like a gaming bus essentially. And
gaming bus, a few retro games, and then the rest of the area was filled with non-EGX stuff. So there was a photographer that had a studio set up there. There was mead, various other things, like great, but not gaming related.
It wasn't
it was a bit weird
sort of thing. But like, maybe they're trying to push EGX more to come. I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, all the budgets and stuff for these gaming companies and everything, they just cut it down. They're 2-3 events here is far too much for brands to be putting into events, isn't it? And it's the same way. Motor shows used to do the same. I used to go. I used to go to Paris and Geneva and everything with my granddad. We used to go to all the motor shows, and we went one year, and there was like no decent motor car companies there. You know, you go to see Ferrari or Bugatti, don't you? It was like Citroen and Fiat, and we were like, we've flown to Geneva for this. Like, what is going on? You know? And we spoke to the guys there, and they're like, yeah, they're just cutting the budget on them all.
Yeah,
for exhibitions and something.
I mean, I've seen the same with the photography show. Like, I've been going to that since the photography show started. I can't remember how long. In fact, back when it was originally called Focus on Imaging at the NEC, then it migrated over to the photography show.
God, you're old.
And you used to literally have, I know. You used to literally have, I'm going to ignore that, Tom. You used to literally have all the major camera manufacturers. So you'd have Canon, Nikon, Sony, etc. And now you kind of just get a little smattering of that, and they don't all attend every year anymore. And it's still a great event, but you can see where the budget cuts are taking place. And you know, it's going to be the same for things like MCM and other trade shows as well.
I've noticed it with events. It's like events used to pay companies to display at their events, whereas now it's companies have to pay
for
the
space
event organisers
thousands of pounds.
Yeah, it's like completely switched, and it's just nothing for a lot of people anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but nothing as a brand. I mean, nothing gets me more hyped than, I mean, Ubisoft were meant to be there, weren't they, with Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yeah.
Was that going to be in October?
Think
and
so.
Obviously, they dropped out, games delayed, but like, I don't even really play Assassin's Creed anymore, but I was thinking, I'm going to get to play this early. nothing gets me more hyped than thinking, oh, the gaming company's there, I can play that before everybody else. I know we were letting everybody play Anno, weren't they? Because that come out a couple of weeks after. But something I love stuff like that. I love it. Freebie, give me a free lanyard, give me something like it. Well, go and buy your game. Like, I'm a sucker for stuff like that. I'm a marketer's dream. But when they're not going, they're not turning up, and they don't want to put the money into that, then it's a shame, really, because the atmosphere.
It's weird because it's always been free advertising as well. The amount they put into the advertising and marketing and then gets shared on the socials, which generates more free advertising and marketing.
Yeah, when you think of their overall sort of advertising and marketing budget, I know we've said that it probably costs them thousands of pounds for a stand over the weekend. That's a drop in the ocean for their sort of like marketing and advertising budget.
Nothing at all.
You've got to think as well. You've got the likes of now. We live in a society where we've got influencers, creators. Everyone's got phones. Everyone's creating a video or something like that. Is like in that own respect. It's like, yes, you'd be forking out money to go for a stall, but you've got the likes of everyone going around going, oh yeah, it was at MCM this weekend, and Ubisoft was there with XYZ game. Managed to play it. This is what my first thoughts are of the game. But that's free advertisement for these companies and brands.
Exactly. And when you've got some creators with hundreds of thousands of followers as well, like some of them have, like we've all got, followers, but there's followers and then there's like serious numbers of followers, There's people with like 60,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million followers go to these events. And that kind of advertising it just reaches far and wide. So
it pays for itself, or it should do.
It does, yeah.
But unfortunately, that's where I think the way the times have changed. It's people are using that free advertising on their mobile phones to get their advertising, and then stopping everything else.
I think they're going to prioritize what events they're putting that money into as well. I mean,
yeah, of course they are.
We were talking about Gamescom the other day, weren't we, Darren? And if it's a dedicated games con, it's the biggest in Europe, pretty much, maybe one of the biggest in the world. And they'll go, right, we'll stick all the money into that. They pay actors to go, they pay cosplayers to go, whatever. The setup's crazy. And they just think, oh well, Comic-Con, it's not really a gaming con, it's just a little bit. We've got some money left over in the pot here. Why don't we put a stand on there? I don't know if that's the attitude or not.
I suppose it could also depend on the time of year as well, and what they've got on the release schedules and bits and pieces like that. So you've got to think, it's like, well, if we're going into November, it's like they might be coming to the end of their budget for that quarter or something like that, or got other things going on that they can't do. And it's like, I think the Game Awards the other week, weren't they? So again, a lot of brands were highlighting a lot of their new games coming out next year at the Games Award. That's a big thing because that's an award ceremony for
I know there used to be
industry.
There used to be some massive gaming conventions in the US, but a lot of them have pulled out, or they've gone like tits up. Just looking now, Gamescom is now the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
So 370,000 visitors.
Years ago, it used to be E3. E3 used to be, I think, June or July every year, and it used to be the biggest one. And the general public weren't allowed at that one. That was only for press.
It was a trade show, trade only.
It was a trade-only thing. And they did open it to the general public after COVID, but I think they then started struggling, and that got then shut down.
Yeah.
So it would now be the one in Europe would be the biggest.
I actually thought E3 was still going.
No, it stopped.
I think it stopped,
2001, maybe?
Yeah. Gamescom is one that I would really like to go to.
Yeah, I mean, that's in August. So we were talking about the Birmingham dates for this year. Prioritize Gamescom in Germany over MCM Birmingham. I mean, before they'd even released the dates for Birmingham, I booked Gamescom I booked the hotel when last Gamescom was on this year. I was like, get me there. Message Pi straight away, obviously. Booked as a hotel. Well, I was like, Pi, I've booked as a hotel. We're going to Gamescom. He's like, oh, right, okay,
Yeah, that took him so much convincing.
Yeah, exactly. So, we booked to go to that, and then I saw the Birmingham dates, and people and I was like, nah, because I can't go to Germany, and you're going for pretty much a week.
I mean, I booked hotel for MCM Birmingham, but I am tempted by Gamescom at the end of August.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got, so what I do, I know we were talking about hotels in London and the prices. It's probably my fault they're expensive, because what I actually do is, as soon as the hotels go on sale, I book a room in every hotel on the west.
Yeah, it's your fault, mate.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've heard it all now. So it's Dan's fault that
I don't know if I should be saying this. So I book. Well, my favourite. I'll book a room on the Sunborn. I book the Novo, and I book the Crown Plaza.
It's weird because you're probably not the only person that does that as well.
Yeah, so I book a room in all three with free cancellation. I think if that's a maximum I'm willing to spend for that weekend, then I'll book all three. They're the only three I normally like to stay in. I've stayed at the Ibis. I've stayed at some of the others, but whatever. And then I check it every few weeks. Like, I sit there, proper busybody. I'll cancel, rebook, all up until the event, until I've got the best price. And I do it with all three, and then I cancel all the rest. And I do that all year. So I got the Sunborn for 4 nights there for me and Pi for 650 quid with breakfast.
Nice.
Which is cheap. Like, that is cheap for London.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's that for London. That's what it was like a few years ago. Because I used to stay at the Loft, and I think it cost us like 600 for like 3 or 4 nights, and that was with breakfast as well. Now you can't really shift at that sort of price these days. No way.
And then, like, I was looking, because while I was looking, I was thinking, right, I've got the Sunborn there as a backup now, because that's a good price. And I kept thinking, well, I might switch to the Novo just in case, because sometimes there's complications, isn't there? That don't let you go in on the night or whatever if you're from a different hotel. So I was a bit like, oh, what if they don't let me in? But then loads of people are like, we've got spare room keys. It'll be all right. I hope the Novotel don't see this. And
I glitched out.
I'm just saying, I hope the Novotel don't see this while you're there.
That's karma for nicking all the hotel rooms.
That is, that's what's happening now. Like,
cancelled it.
You were saying you're the reason that I never go to London because it's so expensive because of the hotel.
But what? I tell people to do the same. Like, just, but I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I went to switch to the Novotel, and they put the really basic room in the Novo, the older rooms as well, which are garbage. That was like 1,200 quid for like 4 nights, which is absolutely insane for the quality of room. But then me and Pi have booked for May. We booked that about a few months ago, and we've got that penthouse suite where it's got the living room and the lounge. I think there's only 1 or 2 of them. We got that for like under 1,000 quid. It was like 800 quid between the two of us with breakfast and everything, which is really, really cheap. Well, it's not really cheap. It's expensive. It's a week abroad compared to the
it's cheap for us, yeah.
And I think it's crazy. So yeah, no.
I'm just going to have a look now as an experiment. I'm not planning on going to MCM May. If I get into Volta, I'm not going to MCM May.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So
the 7th of Jan for that news.
So the Novotel at the moment for a standard Queen room is 872 quid Friday to Monday.
Friday to Monday.
That's not bad still.
Yeah.
By today's standards, if you think about it.
I normally book. I book Thursday to Sunday is what I normally.
Yeah. Like the Good Hotel is 562. I know the Good Hotel, the rooms are very small, but that's actually not a bad price.
Yeah, how much is the Crown Plaza? Because the rooms in the Crown Plaza are really good.
Crown Plaza is...
but they always used to be quite a lot cheaper than the Novo, and now...
Crown Plaza is 754.
I like
what's the date?
And there's
what's the date of the January one?
Say again?
The date of the January.
So
like people wouldn't have been paid by then, so I'm guessing like they're going to keep their prices relatively low till people get paid in February.
You'd hope so, but I mean MCM's normally the weekend before payday, I think, isn't it? It's normally second month.
Struggling to find places that have actually got availability. So the Good Hotel for January MegaCon is 375. So
It's every then relatable to the size
The
of the event.
Novotel, Jesus, the Novatel's only 486.
There you go. And if you've got your membership, you'll get probably more off that, won't you? With
I mean,
the
I'm staying with Declan, so I'm sorted for January. Although I might just get my own room because I like my space.
yeah.
But actually, yeah, it's not bad. January's not too bad. And yet the Sunborn, when I didn't go to MegaCon January last year, but I went to MegaCon January the first year they did it, and I think I paid about $260 for the Sunborn. It's for January next year. It's $724.
Kaiser.
I think they just get out of bed sometimes in the morning and just go, I tell you what, we'll double it.
Finger in the air job, yeah. How much we're going to charge?
Just roll a dice, roll for it.
I think they're starting to operate like car insurance firms now.
Mm.
They're set by the brokers, and they go on market value of the rooms at the time.
Yeah, I might just book an apartment though. To be fair, there's an apartment I've used before that's like above like the Fox area, just a bit further down, and that sleeps quite a few people. I think it's got in one of the rooms it's got a double bed and 2 single beds. In another room it's got a large double bed, and then in the living room it's got a sofa bed, and that's currently like £1,300. So when you split that down between, even if you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even if you had 5 people in there, which I think is what I had when I used it, that's not a bad price, really. What's that? Between 5 and £280 a piece.
Yeah.
Well, I might be tempted to just book that because it's a really nice place. And when I stayed, the host was really, really nice. Like when I arrived to check in, he met me there. He showed me around, and he opened the fridge. He's like, "Oh, I've got a bottle of prosecco in there, and I filled the fridge full of beers for you." Yeah, just really, 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 really nice host. I'd definitely stay there again, especially at that price.
That's good because you see some horror stories with people booking apartments.
Yeah, totally.
The day before, re-advertising, whatever. It's something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I was saying to Darren the other week, I've had a couple of shoots this past couple of weeks with people booking Airbnbs, and then they cancel on them.
Yeah,
that's
even becoming
if
a bit
reviews.
more of a thing now, particularly with models. There's hosts that don't like their properties being used for
I get that, but even if like I was to book somewhere and I didn't have any reviews, just as somewhere to stay, not to do anything else in, not for shooting or anything, just as somewhere to stay.
Yeah,
if
that's
never
crap.
reviews. They're refusing people now. But
Yeah,
how do you get reviews without staying somewhere first?
I didn't even know you could get reviews, or
as a
how
guest,
you can check out your reviews as a guest.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Let's have a look on my Booking.com account, see if I've got any reviews.
I always seem to whenever I've done it for Booking.com, I've always had it like after the stay where they say thanks for blah blah blah. Here's a discount for like future bookings. Leave a review, and that's essentially when I've done a review for a place. But I've never had anything come up stay.
It's weird because as well, you see on Airbnb, a lot of places are also advertised. The same places are advertised on Booking.com.
Yeah,
normally for cheaper. But with there's something that I'm using now, and I literally cannot remember the name. It's gone. You book like houses or whatever for a couple of hours, like studio space for a couple of hours. It's called Go something. I don't remember the name of it. But I've got one in London in January. It's like £60 an hour, and it's like a whole studio, which is quite handy, especially for cosplay. You just in and out, do the job, do the shoot, off you go. See you later. Don't have to worry about staying over or anything. Right. They don't cancel on you, basically. You tell them what you want before you book it. So
what do we think about the change of dates for MCM next year for Birmingham?
I'm fine with it. It'd be nice to have a bigger
nice
summer
weather
con.
to shoot outside.
Yes, not being chased around by geese and etc.
Not have
it'd
to
be
wear
really
like
nice.
5 layers of clothes as well.
Yeah, it's going to be different because obviously cosplayers, it's cosplay. You get hot in cosplay. It doesn't matter even if you're wearing like not a lot, you still get the materials that you use. It's going to make you sweat. But this is England, and it's probably
So
going to
it'll
rain.
probably still rain, is what we're saying.
So
It'll
yeah,
probably even in when it was it in August.
August,
a lot of the
start
complaints.
August.
It will probably still snow. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
A lot of the complaints I saw were about people. They're going to be really, really hot in cosplay, which I
also saw some people complaining, "Oh, I've already made plans for other events next year." Well, okay, well, just don't go then. It's one of them.
That's
Like,
fine. I mean,
if you've already made plans for something else, then that is what it is.
or possibly wear a lighter cosplay.
sometimes
I mean,
people
I've done
comment,
summer cons
like,
in a full muscle suit and had no problem. So
Saying, Dan, sorry, you cut out a bit there, mate.
I don't know what's happening with my internet. It's like it's really stormy here. I don't know what it's like down there, so it's a bit, I don't know if that's affecting it.
Essentially.
But I'm just saying, like, some people feel the need to comment on absolutely everything. You don't need to. Like, if you can't go to the event, sound, you don't need to put the event on blast because you've booked a week in Spain, you know, in August or whatever it might be. You know, you just go to what you can go to. If you're there, cool. If not, never mind. It's all right.
there's 2 Fantasy Forests next year as well.
That's stressing me out.
So that's like.
That's stressing
What,
me
do you
out.
want to go to both or
I am
just
going to
one?
I put tickets for both, but
Yeah, so
but I'm
we're actually
like
camping this year as well, which is
I
going to be
didn't want
interesting.
to. I didn't want to do 2, but I am doing 2 because I'm like, I need to go.
Yeah.
That's on me
It's
though.
a very good event. But then if you're used to that, one of the best shooting days I ever had was just, I think it was 21 or 22, just after they opened up all the events and they had the Fantasy Forest. It was 32, 33 degrees all day. I lost about 4 stone in sweat alone, but I had the best day and I still regard it as the best, like, public. It's not even a con,
Yeah,
but as an event that I can shoot at. I had the best day. I will take that to my grave.
I
It
love
was such a good
it.
place.
I love it.
Everyone was dying and heat exhaustion, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to get that at MCM. I don't think it's any more hotter outside, like at the lake in Birmingham, than it will be if you were inside.
Man, you just go and chill out. Like, you can just.
Yeah.
I felt so like there was no.
Stay hydrated, folks.
Yeah, with mead. I feel like there was zero pressure at Fantasy Forest. It's a festival vibe, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Just drink
MCM,
mead,
I feel like
dance to pirate music.
yeah, I feel like I feel like it's chaos all weekend. Like, I'm running here to do a shoot. I want to go and see this panel. I want to go there. It's so busy. Fantasy Forest, I wasn't bothered what I was wearing. I didn't care. I was camping, and you're just partying, and there's no pressure. It's not the same sort of thing. And then, you know, I shot with a couple of.
It's a completely different vibe. When I was shooting with people, if I saw someone, and I shot with one guy, I didn't realise he had like 1.5 million followers.
Crazy.
I just saw him. I thought his makeup was incredible. I was like, "Can I just grab you a few shots?" He's from Holland. I cannot remember his name to this day.
Was it Tarian? Is it Tarian?
Something. Yeah. If you look at his page, he's got. I'll try and remember the link, but he just looked fantastic. And I was like, I got some shots of him, and then there was a few others, and there was like fairies wandering around. I thought this is kind of cool. So, and I've been, apart from last year, I've been every year since. I'm definitely going to go to both this year. They're like, and everyone there, they're all wearing leather and God knows what else, and dreadlocks and everything like that. So people at MCM shouldn't really complain that it's going to be a little bit warmer at the lake in August.
But also, don't forget, the one we haven't mentioned yet is MegaCon have announced a second Birmingham date for next year, which is 5th and 6th of December. So people that are
still
used to
getting a
going
Christmas
to...
con.
Yeah, exactly. So people that are used to going to MCM Birmingham later can still go to a con at the NEC at the end of November, beginning of December. And as we all know, the vibe at MegaCon is normally really, really good anyway. Tickets are cheaper. So it's a win-win, really. when you think about it.
A lot of people are going to be thinking, "Oh my god, I've got to attend every single one."
Yeah,
When
definitely.
without
this is
getting
it.
too much FOMO, you don't have
This
to attend every single one.
exactly, and this kind of brings me on to the next bit I wanted to talk about. Really, we're going to chat about sort of general cons in the UK as a whole. We'll chat in a moment about which ones we've all been to this year, what we liked, what we didn't like. But the con season, when I first started, used to run from like MCM Birmingham in March, and then through to sort of like MCM Birmingham in November, with lots of big gaps in the middle. Now the con season starts in January, it finishes in December, and there are multiple events sometimes each month.
There isn't a con season anymore.
Do you think that's too much? I do.
Yeah.
I think that's too much.
It was going to happen eventually when cons became popular. People were going to cash in on it, and then
but the thing is now
they've done a Marvel. They've saturated the market.
Yeah, the thing is now, like you used to be able to guarantee that you could go to all of the events, and you would see all your friends and all the people you like to get on with. Now there are so many, and obviously times are hard financially for everybody, that it's just kind of spread everybody out. Yes, there are more people that are into cosplay, but there's still only a certain amount of people, so it's kind of like thinned them out a little bit. And there's, of course, you got all your local events as well, or your sort of Unleashed. What was the other one that you mentioned earlier, Tom?
Bolt events.
Bolt events, and lots of others as well. Monopoly are doing loads of local events as well now, which are obviously like really nice sort of family-run, family-orientated events. As
We've got
Bolt
events in Hinckley next year.
Wow, there's one in, I think there's one in Derby now as well, and it's just, there are just too many events in the calendar now. And then obviously you've got your photo cons as well. So Camp Cosplay, Secret Con. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't get more photo cons springing up as well at some point. Like
But there was a couple last year that kept popping up, but they're only like one shot kind of things. But there have been quite a few going around.
I mean, me and Switch are starting Nexus as well next year, which is another sort of photo con event.
But it's more than a photo con event, though. If we really
it is, yeah. I mean, people might say to me, "Oh, but what about Secret Con?" Well, Secret Con is still there, and I'm still a big part of it. But where Nexus is going to be different is we're going to be themed events. So we're doing an Arcane League of Legends event. We're planning a Cyberpunk event. At some point, we want to do a steampunk cosplay event. So we're going to stick on themes, but it's still a photo-based event, not a con as such. But again, that's another one for people to think about. And I mean, we've seen it with Secret Con, that as popular as we've sort of grown now, we are still seeing people sacrifice coming to our events because they've got too many other things booked up. Or the big trend we're seeing, and I'm seeing this across all events, is people are buying tickets later and later. So before, like MCM used to be booked up like months in advance. Now you can still get tickets like sometimes the day before.
That's probably a budgetary thing as well, though. Like obviously with the way things are, people money wise, but I would put the majority of that down to that, and obviously trends.
Yes,
because if your friends are going to one event and you're not, you're going to want to go to the event where your friends are.
Absolutely.
But then you got to think, like, for us it's different. Like photographers, what do we go to one place for? Whereas cosplayers, they go to obviously cosplay and for socials as well, more than anything. I think that's what I used to do. But now as I'm photographing, I go more for the socials than I do for photography. So it's weird how it's all worked out. But
I mean, yeah, it's kind of, I've kind of changed for next year. I'm changing my approach to what I class as like a mainstream con, so like MCM, MegaCon. I'm changing it up. I'm not going to shoot now because I've kind of gone from shooting, but more trying to do the social element, because I feel like when I'm hogging, I'm missing people that I want to spend time with. It's like this year I've hardly seen Dan, for example, and it just feels like we're having a fleeting conversation every so often. Like, oh yeah, catch up in a bit, and then we off. It's just manic and crazy. So next year I'm doing a different approach. I'm still shooting, but I'm going to be shooting at photo-based cons, doing more different style events, like my own events, or doing studio days and stuff like that. But I want to get back to.
I get that because obviously I shoot with like loads of people. I miss other people that I really want to see, sort of thing, and then I get trapped, and it's difficult to see the people that I like.
Yeah.
I love to see every time.
I've done 7 UK cons this year.
That's a lot, I think.
Say again?
I've done 3.
It is a lot. It's still less than I have done in previous years, though.
Are they really?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, that's including 2 secret cons.
Okay.
5 without, 5 mainstream cons. So there's MegaCon Birmingham, which I only did for a day. I did MCM London, MegaCon Farnborough, then MCM London, October, and MCM Birmingham. And then obviously I've done the two secret cons.
Done about 8 then this year.
Yeah. And I've,
I always wanted to go down to Telford. I've done one before because it's a great con.
The venue,
the times of it is just.
I've just not heard great things about the venue for shooting.
Well, there's
Telford.
2.
Right.
There's the Midlands con that they used to do, and then the other one, I can't remember the name of the venue, but it's got the big dragon outside. That's a great venue, and it's got air conditioning.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't go this year, but I really enjoy MegaCon Manchester. It's a great venue, and it's a really great vibe as well. But it falls around my birthday. And I think I was doing something else in July anyway this year. And I just had a bit of time off from mainstream cons, but hotels and whatnot just got too expensive this year, so I decided to sit it out.
Yeah,
I heard it was still a really great event.
We got a house that was quite cheap. I think it was about £600 for a couple of nights between 5 of us.
Yeah,
see 5. It was
that's all
absolutely fine. But then I got kicked out and asked to stop shooting at the venue. So
yeah, that was Monopoly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I went to a Monopoly event 2020 before the world shut down. Was the only Monopoly event I've been to as a photographer at Liverpool. And it was all right. I enjoyed it. But then I went to one with Nat when she met Ray Fiennes. Was that towards the end of last year, I think, wasn't it?
So October last year, yeah. Yeah,
October last year. And I took my Lumix S9, which I had to just put in a bag, small bag. And I didn't take it out of the bag once. It just didn't feel like a con to shoot at. Whereas MCM and MegaCon, there is still always somewhere.
It's very much geared towards the guests rather than cosplayers.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is
I definitely feel like that vibe sort of change. They're trying to change that vibe up now with the whole idea of the creator passes for stuff at these events. It looks like they're trying to break into that niche of cosplayers more so than anything.
I still don't know of a single photographer that's been awarded that creator status from Monopoly. I know a lot of cosplayers that have, because I think Monopoly have a bit of a strange rule that if you're a photographer and you want to pass, you have to apply for press, even if you don't shoot for press.
They also did a thing where if you do collaborations with other people, they automatically decline your pass.
Wow. That's 90% of the cosplay community.
Yeah, which is why a lot of I don't know if you've noticed over the past year or 2 years, a lot of cosplayers don't get creator passes because they do collabs with photographers.
So
Strange.
that'd be interesting to see how that goes for next year. Then, really,
I don't know whether they're still doing it, but I remember I remember getting an email back from them about it once, and that was their reasoning.
I know other events do look at that when they're looking at creator passes. They don't necessarily count it against you or automatically decline you, but they had a conversation with one event person a couple of years ago now about creator passes and how they look at it, and they look at your overall feed, they look at your overall figures, they look at your engagement on your collabs, and then they look at your engagement on your own non-collab posts to see if the numbers stack up, basically.
If you're buying followers.
Exactly. So if you've got like 10,000 followers, but your solo posts are only getting like 10 likes, then clearly something's wrong. Which I think is a good way of doing it, because it proves that these events are actually looking at your stats and looking at your profile and analyzing whether whether they feel you are going to be a good fit for what they want. Because let's face it, a creator pass is a business transaction.
Well, cons are businesses.
Yeah, exactly. And if they are awarding you a creator pass, it's not just a free ticket. I've said this before. It's not just a free ticket. It's a business transaction. They expect something in return. They're not just going to give you a free pass for no return, for no reason.
It irks me a little bit
get
when
something out of it.
I see a lot of some photographers, but mainly cosplayers, when they say, I'm not going to the event because I didn't get a creator pass. Well, you have to make content and be a creator to get a creator pass. You can't just then moan about it because you didn't get it. If you post once a month,
exactly,
they're not going to see that as a creator.
Exactly. And I always say to people when they're talking to me about events and stuff, and I always say to them, if you're not prepared to pay for a ticket and go to an event anyway, then you shouldn't be applying for a creator pass. If you're not prepared to go and support the event, don't apply for a creator pass.
Yeah.
Don't just treat it like a free ticket, because it's not. There are certain things, and I do like how the likes of MCM and MegaCon have now got a set criteria, not only for the base applications, which they are still sometimes a little bit lenient with if they feel that you're a good fit, but also the set things that they set out they want in return, which is great because you know what you need to do to fulfill the purpose of you getting that creator pass.
That's why I think it's harder for what you mentioned a minute ago about photographers.
Yeah.
I mean, in my eyes, especially in London, if we're not allowed to shoot there, we can't make any content. So they're not going to give us a creator pass anyway.
No. Exactly. And that's why I think it's a bit of a shame for MCM, because I know they have put the work in. And then in October, people were still having issues. But it's not issues from MCM. There wasn't a single person that I know that was stopped by MCM staff. It was all due to venue security. But it's a shame. Let's carry on. So we're going to have a little chat about non-UK events. Just touch on briefly. I've been to a few now. Went to 2 this year in Europe. Twitch came with me as an assistant for one of them. And have you been to any out of UK events or?
No,
not yet.
So 2026 is the year of European ones for me.
What about you, Tom? Have you been to any out of UK events or?
Fortunately, not yet. But I know a lot of people that go to them, especially the one in Poland, the one in Germany.
They're becoming like a lot more popular now.
From what I've gathered, and speaking to a lot of people, they're like UK cons were 5 or 6 years ago. You remember when they were great and not like?
Yeah, well, they're kind of like
restricted.
A step above that, because they're kind of like Secret Con on steroids.
Yeah.
Because you don't just have one location. You've got like sometimes 20, 30, 40 locations around a 40-kilometer radius.
From what I
Stunning
gathered,
locations.
they want you to take photos, though.
Yes. Well,
They don't.
That's because it's a photo
that
con
is what they're
versus a
for.
con,
So,
yeah.
this year I've been to Picvicia in Switzerland and Focus in France, and they spend so much time and effort scouting these amazing locations that cost them money sometimes to hire. And the events are normally 2 or 3 days, and you've got all these fantastic locations, very varied. So, Focus, for instance, I shot in like beautiful, fantastic chateaus, and I also shot in a skate park next to a leisure centre.
But were they cons open to the public as well, or
No, that was
no.
like
They
a secret
are
con.
they are application only. Unlike Secret Con, applications, we are very, very loose. So it's, are you a cosplayer? Yes. Are you a photographer, videographer? Yes. Okay, you're in. Are you general public? No. Okay, you're not in. That is our application process, essentially. The European photo cons are very, very different. They have very limited numbers. So Picvicia, I think, for 2026 had something like, what was it, about 600 applications ish?
They just had shy of 600 applications, but they could only accept 190 something.
190, something like that.
They had to reject 400 odd people.
Their applications between last year and this year nearly doubled because of the popularity of photocons. So they do pick and choose. They normally have a panel or a team of people that are assessing the applications. That they like to pick like a variety of people, if you like, so that it's not all the same style, not all the same types of cosplayers.
Yeah, you don't want 500 Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Also, they vary the photographers because they don't want the same style photographers.
Like some people, I've heard some people say, "Oh, these photocons are elitist." They're not. They want variation. They can't pick everybody. They can't allow everyone. They haven't got the space. And it's just, I really can't explain how great these events are.
Like, yeah, they're a different vibe from what
just the 2 events that I've shot this year have probably given me enough content to post for the entire year.
So you've not been to a fantasy forest yet, have you?
No.
Right. So imagine that, but with alcohol and pirate dancing, and that's basically what fantasy forest is like to me.
I mean,
there's drinking at these ones as well.
There is lots of social activities in the evenings at European photocons, and there is lots of alcohol. So, I didn't go to Volta this year because I was in Norway. I went to Volta last year, and again, fantastic con. Volta is probably the most difficult to get into. From what I gather, I've applied for next year. Whether I get in or not, I have no idea. But I'm guessing that will also have increased in popularity. I've noticed an increase in the UK for the amount of people that are talking about European photocons and are saying that they want to go. I know when I spoke to Picvicia after their applications had closed, they came on one of our podcasts on the run-up to their applications finishing, as well as the guys from Focus. And Picvicia had said that we went from being like way down in the countries for applications to being like
third,
4th or 5th or 3rd, something like that, like massively up. They had a huge jump in UK applications. Now, obviously, some of that will be down to the fact that we did a podcast about it, but our audience is relatively small. We're still relatively new in terms of podcasts. So I think that really speaks volumes in just how many people in the UK are wanting that type of event. Because people, let's face it, people spend a lot of time honing their skill as a photographer, honing their craft as a cosplayer, wanting to get great photos. And if there are events out there that give them that opportunity and variation, then I can see why they're increasing in popularity. But also cost. We've already spoke about the cost of going to a UK mainstream con. me and Tom went to Focus in France in September. We flew out on the Thursday. The event was it 2 days, Tom? I can't
No,
even
the
remember
event was
now.
3 days. It was
3
Friday,
days.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sorry. So yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we flew out to Tours on the Thursday. We did the event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We checked out of our main apartment on the Monday. We drove back to Tours, dropped the car off, stayed another day in Tours, and flew back on the Tuesday. And our total spend from the Thursday to the Tuesday for both of us, including flights, accommodation, car hire, fuel, food, drink, was around about $1,000. I mean, you'd barely get a hotel for an MCM event in the UK for that, for one person.
But that's why, like, obviously, with my friend group, we made a decision this year. I mean, I don't do London anyway, but they to not do London because on average
you
on
went
a con
to
weekend,
a place, didn't you? Yeah.
on an average con weekend, even in Birmingham, you spend a lot of money. But if you're, let's say you're staying in London Thursday to Sunday, you're looking at £700-800 for a hotel easily. Then you've got your tickets on top of that. Then you've got food.
Another
Then you've got
£100.
drinks, and then you're buying stuff. You're looking at £1,200-1,300 easily.
I mean, we've already said that like the socials are a big part of these events, and when most people gather in like the Novotel or the Hilton, and you're talking like £8 a pint, it
But then
really
going back on what
stacks
you
up.
said earlier, with the amount of cons that there are, can you imagine if you did every
Correct.
major con in the UK, you're looking at £7,000 or £8,000 a
The
year.
other thing I like about the European photo cons is they have the evening socials and networking. They still have the drink, they still have the food, but they put it on themselves. So they'll have a bar, they'll have food, and it's dirt cheap. It really is.
Well, Europe's cheaper than us anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. It just
they don't get taxed on their points.
But it's just so much. But also, I've got to say, the people that I've met through doing the European events are honestly some of the nicest, most creatively committed people I've met in the cosplay community. Like just every single one of them has been absolutely fantastic. You know, there's some great cosplayers in the UK as well, but there's also a big mix in the UK cosplay community. Some people are doing it to be creative. Some people are doing it because they want to be content creators. Some people are just doing it because they want to make TikToks with their friends, whatever. And there's no right or wrong in any of that. But the events that I go to in Europe, everyone has one goal: to be creative, make really great art, and use the locations and surroundings to create the best photos they can. And for me, that's now what I want to do. You know, I said to a few people I'm doing far fewer mainstream UK cons next year. And I could say that it's because of the UK cosplay scene, or that I don't enjoy cons anymore because the events aren't as good. But realistically, I've changed as a person, and what I want from an event and what I want to do with my photography has changed dramatically to what it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And so whilst, yes, events in the UK have changed, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, I've also got to accept, and I think that's the same for all of us, that we've all changed as well. You know, what I want from an event, where I am in my creative journey, has changed massively. And so now I just want to create nice, cinematic, great looking content.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that with your photography over the past, since I've known you, but you probably do the same with me. Like my goal used to be at cons was to shoot in my head with as many people as I possibly could and meet new people and network more. But now, like MCM Birmingham, I probably shot 20, 25 people max, which is
which over a weekend for you is like
nothing.
low numbers. Yeah,
Nothing. I could do that in half an hour normally.
Yeah.
It was so weird, and don't get me wrong, it's because of obviously where they were and stuff as well, where we were allowed to shoot. But my goal for next year is massively going to be work with people that I've not worked with before. As much as I like shooting with people that I've shot with before, and
quality over quantity at the end of the day.
Everyone's got their favourites, but yeah, next year I really, really want to work with people that I've not yet.
Yeah, same. I mean, there are a few set people, particularly in the UK, that I love working with. You know, probably 3 or 4, maybe a couple more that I truly love working with, and that's because their energy and creativity is next level, and we just gel really, really well. And I'm sure you guys will be the same, and you'll be the same, Dan, if you're working with a photographer that you just click with. The results you get are far better than someone that just says, "Oh, can I take a quick snap?" or that you don't really know. It just works. And this is one of the things I found about, again, the European events is that, you'll get some people that you get on better with than others. But sometimes, you will just click, and there's a higher percentage of those. Focus in particular on the Sunday, I'd left quite a bit of time free initially on the Sunday morning to just chill and relax. And then I think on the Friday evening after we'd finished shooting, I was talking to Switch in the apartment, and I was like, I've really enjoyed today. I'm looking at my results. I'm really happy with what I've shot. I don't know whether to put a post on their Discord to see about maybe picking up some last minute cancellations, but I'm not sure. I also like the idea of just having some chill time. Switch said to me, he said, "Well, I think you would really regret it if you didn't." So I put a post on there. Within minutes, one of the people I'd shot with that day messaged me and said, "I'm doing this on Sunday. I really enjoyed working with you. If you'd like to shoot this, I know it's not your normal kind of thing, but would you like to shoot it?" And I took one look at it and I was like, yes, it's not what I normally want to shoot, but it's absolutely stunning. So definitely.
I always think it's great when someone takes you out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And this is something else I like to do at European events is I'm spending that money and I'm traveling hundreds of miles to
you don't want to do what you normally do.
Different. I don't want to do what I normally do. And I always like to plan at least 3 or 4 cosplays when I'm shooting at events away from the UK, where I'm shooting something completely out of my comfort zone, because it really pushes me and challenges me as a creative. And about 10 minutes later, I received another message from the assistant of a cosplayer to say, "Oh, I'm the assistant of such and such. They'd really like to shoot with you if you're interested. They're doing this cosplay." And the reason I got so much time free on that Sunday morning was that unfortunately someone had to drop out of the event due to personal reasons, that was doing a Mary Spencer from Bloodborne. Was it Bloodborne? A Mary Spencer cosplay anyway. Not really a character that I know, but I like the look of it. And this assistant that messaged me said, "Oh, my cosplayer is doing Mary Spencer, would really like to shoot with you." And I'm like, "Oh, wow. That's like another Mary Spencer." Well, I was going to shoot that anyway. And they sent me a photo and I was just blown away. And I never met this person, never spoke to this person. They turned up to the shoot on the day, looking really ill, like literally like they were dying. And I spoke to them and they'd come down with a bug over the weekend. And I said, "Look, absolutely fine if you want to not shoot. Are you okay to shoot? Totally fine if not. It's really not an issue. I want you to be happy and comfortable and safe." And they were like, "No, absolutely fine. Definitely want to shoot with you." So we started the shoot, and literally they literally looked like they were on their last legs. And then we set up the shoot, went to get the pose, and it was like bang, straight into the pose, like there was nothing wrong with them. Absolutely fantastic. And it was single-handedly my shoot of the weekend.
Is that that Regal one? Regal-esque looking?
Yeah,
the
there was a real cosplay at the chateau, and it's just absolutely stunning. And
yeah, that was very different to
just
your
the
usual style.
very, very different. But I had so much fun shooting that set.
Well, it's a learning curve. If the way I see it, if you're not learning
Exactly
every time you shoot,
exactly,
then what's
but
the
also
point?
like the level of commitment that, because everyone's out there, they paid the money to be out there just to create content.
You're not going to get that
everyone
on
just
MCM.
pushes forward. No, because MCM isn't a convention to create content. It's just a convention. The fact that we do get to
in the
create
same way
content
anyway.
is a bonus, really.
Well, but this is what, like, because Comic-Cons are invented to sell comics, which people always seem to forget. It was originally designed to sell comics, trade comics, and occasional
Exactly.
bits of memorabilia, and it's just grown into something else.
They're not
And
about cosplay and photography.
No, but a lot of like the smaller ones now, the what I call BOS, bums on seats. It's just getting people through the door, and people get upset by that. But it is true. It's a business. They need people in general public, not just for cosplayers, not just for photographers. We are
for everybody.
a bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
It depends what you want out of the whole scene, I guess.
Correct.
Because, you dip your toes in so many different things when you're into this hobby, I find.
Definitely.
You're into gaming, you're into cosplaying, you're into making stuff, you want photography, you might be into LARP, whatever it might be, books, comics. And it's just full pop culture scene, I guess, isn't it? And
it is,
you prioritize, because I used to put the pressure on, I have to go to every event this year. Like, I have to see everybody or whatever it might be. And now, like, I'll only go to, like, the main cons, I guess. I go to secret cons, and I'll go to MCM London, the 2 MCM Londons, because I'm doing stuff outside of cons now. I do shoots out of cons.
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
Doing, like, the fairy tale ball kind of stuff with Fair Club and things like that, and those sorts of events. And it's not just as simple as, oh yeah, I'm just doing cons for the year. You're doing so many more things throughout the year. Like, it's crazy. Like, this year, I feel like I said I wasn't going to do as much this year, and I feel like I've done twice as much. I've done less cons, but I've done
that every year.
far more of everything else. Like, you throw like Fantasy Forest in there, you throw like any other photo shoots you're doing out of a con, whatever weekends it might be, and it all adds up, and you're just like, what am I doing? Like, why? Like, and you love it at the time, but like Birmingham at the end of the year for me is not like, I try to avoid it. I went last year just for one day. I was like, I'm not going again, because it's too far for me to just go for a day. But anyway, I went this year.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I was like, I'm exhausted. I should have had this weekend off. Like,
yeah.
And then now MegaCon in January, you're not getting that reset and that respite, I don't think.
Con burnout is definitely a thing.
You used to stop in November, didn't you? And you'd be like, that's us till like May now, pretty much, or whatever.
And you'd be like biting at the bit just to get back to a con because you hadn't had one. But now it's like last year, I think I was at a con every month last year.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's good that there's going to be so many cons now, because you don't.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't have to go to every single one. You can.
No, you don't.
Do one every quarter, or one every 6 months, or one every 2 months.
I mean, like I say, I went to 5 mainstream cons, and then obviously the 2 secret cons, which I kind of have to go to. But I've done a bunch of other stuff as well. Like, I've done two projects with Spores. So I did the Hannibal shoot, and I did one of their Uncharted shoots. I've got the 2 European events I've done. I went on a holiday to Norway. I've done a couple of paid shoots. I've done a Fantastic Four group shoot. It's just like I got to MCM Birmingham And by the end of the weekend, I was exhausted. And it's not just from MCM Birmingham. It feels like it's really taken a lot out of
The
me
whole
this
year
year.
catches up with you, I think, at the end of
It
that
does.
week.
It
And you
does,
go,
yeah.
well, shit.
I feel like I've done a lot.
Now you know why I drink so much rum.
Yeah.
I think we were having this conversation. I think it was literally this week, Darren, where I'm just fucking absolutely done in, and I'm like, I haven't even got the energy to open up Lightroom to edit images, and it's not against anyone because I really want to, but then also I know that if I go in there at the minute, I'm not going to put my best effort into it. So burnt out, I'm so burnt out and just so drained.
This is one of the things I'm feeling is that this has taken a toll on my editing. I mean, my editing workflow has changed anyway. I now put a lot more time and effort into each edit, which takes more creative mental focus and brain power. But I'm finding more times this year where I just haven't got the mental capacity to edit. And especially at the moment,
I've had a break this week.
Yeah. Like
just for Christmas and everything, and I've not been well.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just like,
but also I really struggle. Like my day job has got busier, and particularly at the moment, it's absolutely hectic, which also takes its toll. But then on weekends, which is my only downtime, if I'm not at events and I'm not shooting, I feel like I should be doing something. And I struggle to switch off to the point where if I'm not doing something to do with my photography or at an event or editing, I feel bad. And I've had to sort of like this last week or so, a couple of weeks, I've really had to sort of have a word with myself to the point where I've had to say, like, just internally that if you take some time off from editing or whatever you want to do to just chill and do live stuff, that is okay. We don't have to be doing
I had the same. I don't know how you are, Dan,
all
but
the time.
Like, when I was cosplaying, my literal thing was, right, this con's then, I've got this amount of time to plan this outfit cosplay, and then the next time, exactly the same, done with that con, right, let's do the next con. Now I'm doing the same with photography.
Yeah.
I've got a full-time job. I'll come home, spend 2 hours, whatever, editing every night, finish 8, half 8, whatever. Then I'll sit down and rest. Then Saturday and Sunday, I'm just like, meh.
Yeah, we're just constantly spinning plates.
It's exhausting.
And it does. And it's the same with cosplayers as well. Like, cosplayers will often take months to make their cosplays. You know, it's not just a case of like a lot of our stuff is back end loaded. We just charge our gear before the event, chuck it in a bag, and away we go. All of our work starts after the event.
Yeah,
whereas with
like
cosplayers is planning like months in advance for each event.
Well, not
so
even
many
like
more
events.
events.
Maybe it could be a year in
calendar.
advance.
Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy, and I'm really struggling with myself with the concept of it is okay to not be doing something related to cons and cosplay.
It's
photography.
Weird. I'm the same because like every now and then to have a little break, and then I need almost like a mental incentive to like you get your mojo back.
Yeah,
you do like I had a break before. Like I didn't do anything for like 3 months, and then one Sunday morning I was just having a coffee. I thought I'll turn my computer on. I'll have a go. Did this edit, blasted it out. So happy with it, and then that got me back on to that track.
Yes. Yeah.
But do you find like when you do that, sometimes you take a little bit of a break and you kind of go, do you know what? I'm just going to fire this up. I'm going to play around with some bits and pieces. Then also you just get in that groove, and then you just
my editing style changes as well. Yeah. It's really weird depending on what I'm using and stuff. Like going back to when I used to cosplay, I did exactly the same thing. Like if I didn't do one for 6 months, I'll either reuse one that I've used before, and then think about doing a big one at some point. Like that one behind me there, that's my old Raiden. That took me 4 years to do, on and off. I started it at the beginning of lockdown, and then that came in, and then I just like tinkered with it, and then did something else, then came back, and then tinkered with it, and then did another one, and came back, and then photography took over. So
Yeah,
it's good
I
to
mean,
have a break. You need to refresh your mind.
I had a bit of an editing spurt the other week on a Sunday. Quite often goes at like, because I normally finish work on a Friday at lunchtime, and I always plan to go home. The plan is I'll do a few edits, and then Saturday afternoon I'll do a few edits. I normally find Friday afternoon I'm just unwinding. I'm catching up on general shit that I've not done throughout the week. Saturday, I intend to edit, and I just sit at the computer like, yeah, I'm just not really feeling it. And then quite often, if I'm going to do it, Sunday, all of a sudden, I'll get like a creative spurt and it'll kick in. And then Monday, I'm back at work again.
That's
I had a creative spurt a couple of weeks ago, and I smashed out, I think I said to you, Switch, like I smashed out probably about half a dozen or more full sets.
Yeah, you were doing focus. I think you smashed out about
focus
like
stuff.
day one and day two.
I smashed out some amazing sets, like really high quality editing. And then like last weekend, probably I tried to do the same again and just couldn't get into it. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm coming into this weekend, and I had originally planned to try and edit this weekend, but I kind of like had some thought process today, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. If I do some editing, I do some editing, but I've got life and Christmas stuff to do this week. I've got time off over Christmas where I'm doing absolutely fuck all. No pressure of work, no pressure of anything else. So I'll aim to split that time between just relaxing, taking some time off, and then maybe the second half, I'll do some creative stuff and do some editing. But this weekend, I'm not even going to open Photoshop or Lightroom. I'm just going to take some time to catch up on stuff, make sure I'm ready for Christmas, just relax and not put that pressure on myself.
Can you do the artwork for this podcast episode, though, this weekend?
No. Yeah, of course. All right. Okay, so I'll open Illustrator. I won't open Photoshop.
The whole point is it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be
exactly.
Yeah. And people
exactly. So
everyone's that caught up and wrapped up.
They do. So something I say a lot. Me and a friend of mine are talking about a lot on this show. Shalimar, fantastic creative person, really great storyteller. But me and him say to each other a lot that people in this community often forget the play in cosplay. And it really is true. But once I sort of had a word with myself, if you like, I thought to myself, you know what, actually, that's not a bad idea. Just chill this weekend. You got plenty of time at like a week and a half or whatever over Christmas where I'm doing absolutely nothing. Probably going to be bored out of my skull. Now, like, go away and see family for a couple of days. I'll probably go and have a spa day somewhere just to like chill and relax and get a massage and chill in the jacuzzi and, do all that shit. Because, I'm getting old now. I need that kind of pampering. But then, I've got plenty of time to catch up on editing. But also, I'm not used to having a backlog. Like previous years, I've always like been clear of editing before I go into the next event. But since I've started being more and more creative at events and doing the European cons and changing my editing workflow, I've now got this backlog that I'm not used to.
This also comes back to what we were saying earlier in the conversation, is it's the fact that there isn't a con season anymore. Like the year is full on cons. If we're shooting either project work, studio work, events, whatever, we then end up with a backlog of stuff because it's
exactly.
I've found in the last 2 years, it's just been kind of almost like non-stop to a point.
It's just been a blur, really, with just Christmas in the middle.
But that's why you need to prioritize, don't you?
Yeah, totally. And totally. Just like you said, Dan, just say, just choose, right, I'm going to do this, and this, and then do some out-of-con stuff,
It's okay to just say no, like, which
it is. Exactly.
And people think you can't, and then I don't understand it with some cosplayers who are a new cosplay every week. You know, whatever's trending, whatever's out, fast fashion, if you like, whatever. That must be so draining. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
No.
Like, I've cut a lot out and I do pretty much just the same character now, don't I? And I just do a different version of him because it's easy for me. I love it, but I'm just like, oh, just a little tweak
but
there.
why
And
not?
I don't need to stress. I don't need to crunch for a month and do whatever.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I found where
Exactly.
I want to
You know, at the end of the day, if that's what you enjoy, why not?
Exactly. As soon as you can say,
know,
like, fuck you to people, I guess, but not necessarily a big fuck you in a nasty way. It's kind of like, nah, I'm just doing my thing. Some people might take it a bit wrong at first, which happened with me when I've said no, you know, to maybe doing a group plan or whatever. But you need to start to prioritize yourself sometimes.
Of course you do.
You don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to be selfish. But just look after yourself and do what you want to do. It's your hobby.
Just appreciate that you are doing this for you, and no one else. And you know, it is very easy in the cosplay community to become a people pleaser. The same as it is with photographers especially when you first start. Like you said, Tom, I felt like I had to shoot with everyone at every event. And it's the same with cosplayers. They probably feel like they've got to do every cosplay and take photos with everyone. And you don't have to. Just do what you want to do and have fun. And if that's one character in different versions for 4 years, great. As long as you're having fun and you're doing the best content that you feel you can do and you're happy with that, great, go for it. Or if you want to do 5 cosplays in a day and you're having fun and not getting stressed out about it and having a mental breakdown, then fine. It is literally you do you. But I think sometimes there is a bit too much pressure on people from both sides to do things that, you know, for everybody and not. I always liken it a little bit to when people get married. So when you have a wedding, you spend all that money and all that time on pleasing all your guests.
So this is Darren's reasons why Darren's not married yet.
Like, you do all this stuff and spend all this money for everybody else, whereas you're the ones getting married. So do it for you. Do what you want to do, which I know you and Steph are, which is why you're getting married on one day and then having your reception 2 days later or whatever, which is
pretty much.
Yeah. Which is costing me loads of annual leave, but I won't hold it against you, don't worry.
We're worth it. That's all I can say.
You are worth it, absolutely.
It's only going to happen once, right?
Exactly.
Second time, but yeah, you know. Second time for me, first time for her.
Well, you know, I digress a little bit, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, whatever you do, whether you're a cosplayer, photographer, you go to events, you don't go to events, whatever you want to do, just have fun and do what you do for you, and don't worry necessarily about trying to please everyone else.
I think one of the takeaways I took last year and brought into this year was, like we're saying, like, you know, it was okay to say no. I think in the past, I've always gone, I feel like I need to shoot with absolutely everybody and anybody I can, that's, you know, hovering around or doing something. I always had that pressure that I needed to do that. That was what my mindset was like.
Yeah.
And
I said no more times at this last MCM than I have in probably 5 years.
But that was the thing, is I brought into this year and I said, it's not because I don't want to shoot with people. It is purely because I don't have the energy necessary to do it in the same way. And I'm not putting that sort of love into each one, especially if it's a character that I'm not necessarily interested in. And it's not a reflection on the cosplayer, because I tell you what, there is some incredible cosplayers out there who've done amazing work, but it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Now, I can't do that. I can't do that justice to that character because, one, it's not my style. You know, it's like there are others out there that can do that. You know, there are photographers who will be able to that will do it and go, that's their niche, that's their thing. They'll be able to do it, and it's not a reflection on my dislike for it, sort of thing.
I see so many people getting offended by things like that as well, and you know, it's not on you as a photographer to.
No, exactly.
I mean, you have things and people and places you want to shoot at, and cosplayers go and they're just sometimes there's this. Well, he said he didn't want to shoot me. Well, yeah. Well, they don't have to shoot you.
Well,
That's
well,
when
the thing is
photographers
as well,
get
Dan,
the reputation of being elitist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't
But-
have. They don't have to shoot
But
you.
the thing is as well, is it makes as much sense for a cosplayer to find a photographer that likes what they are cosplaying, that's into that fandom and suits that style, because the photos that they'll get back will be a million times better. So it works both ways. It just makes sense to collaborate, and I use this word collaborate a lot. It collaborate with someone that has got similar interests and a similar style, because the quality of work you're going to get back will be far better, and it's quite likely that the speed you're going to get the images back will be a lot quicker as well.
That's why, like with me, I'm a DC guy. I will shoot DC characters till the cows come home. Whereas, as much as I love Marvel, my style, depending on what day of the week it is, very much is more a DC reflective rather than a Marvel reflective, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
always geared towards a DC or darker tones than, you know, airy sort of.
Also goes back to, sorry, I didn't let me cut you off, but it
No.
also goes the same way for cosplayers. It's like, we've got 3 Togs here. We all have different styles and how we like
Very
to
different,
do
yeah.
things. For example, Dan will do his cosplay, but it might not necessarily like my style, but he'll go for Tom or Darren's, because that style that they create fits the character that he's cosplaying.
Just suits exactly. Yeah.
So it works
Totally.
in both ways. It's not necessarily down at
I
the
mean,
photographer
we've
to say
shown,
no.
Yeah, it's
we've
not
shown a
perfect.
lot. We've shown a lot, you know, Switch, that like we shoot together a lot at events. And also sometimes, like at Secret Con, I'll be hanging around with 2 or 3 Togs, and we can all shoot the same cosplayer at the same time and just help and assist each other with lighting. But we will all come out with something very different because we all have our own unique style. And it's just a case of pick one that works for you, really. But yeah.
The new Street Fighter trailer.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
dropped at Gamescom, didn't it?
Yeah.
I
I-
don't know. Oh, yeah. Because
Thing
I'm a
is,
massive Mortal Kombat fan, and I'm like,
I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan, and I watched the Street Fighter trailer and I messaged Switch and I was like, this looks like it's been created by someone on ChatGPT.
Thing is, I'm a sucker for the original.
It
one with
looks-
Kylie Minogue. Now
it
I just
looks
can't help myself. I love that
like
one.
some of the aspects of it just look so fucking AI, it's unreal.
see, I'm a massive wrestling fan, right? And it's got 2 of my favorite wrestlers in it. So I'm going to watch it for that reason,
Yeah.
alone. But the last 5 Street Fighter films have been shit.
I'm
Yeah.
just looking forward to the
Properly
Mortal
shit.
Kombat one.
It's a good cast,
But-
though. It is a good cast.
But
Yeah,
the,
it is.
the, art, the
is.
artwork that they've done for it and the style, like Cammy was always my favorite back in 1996. So like they've got the person they've cast as their costume, the artwork. I'd love someone to do that, and I'd love to do a proper Street Fighter shoot with that. But then again, I've seen them, obviously they're doing Mortal Kombat because I put that back 3 months coming out. I want to do some more Mortal Kombat shoots as well, but I really
Definitely.
want them to do like a cast versus cast, like Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter on a stage somewhere
that'd be
and
good.
see what happens.
That would be good.
Because there's only one person in the new Street Fighter film who does actually martial arts in real life. So take from that what you will.
Anyway, let's crack on.
Yeah.
So we're going to chat a little bit about out of con stuff, what we've done throughout the year. I mean, I know my out of con stuff this year has been quite limited. I've done 2 sport shoots. I've done a couple of paid shoots. I did a Fantastic Four shoot, kind of like middle of the year, and that's about it for me. I mean, the sport shoots were like big projects, Hannibal and Uncharted, which I had so much fun on. I mean, I love working with those guys; they're so talented. I've got another shoot with them planned in the new year, another Hannibal shoot, which will be great. But yeah, I feel like I've missed out on a lot of OutCon projects, as I've still got a massive list of stuff that I planned for this year that I've had to push to next year because I just haven't had chance to shoot it. I know, Tom, you do a lot of sort of like paid stuff out of cons, don't you? You had chance to do any creative stuff out of con, or has it mainly been?
Yeah, this year, obviously weddings and like what a lot of people don't know about me. I'm mainly a boudoir body confidence photographer who does cosplay, but obviously the stuff that I do mainly client confidential, so I can't post it.
Yeah, of course.
I've done a lot of out of con cosplay stuff, which I massively prefer. It's just the fact that you can spend like an hour or 2 hours with someone at a designated place, not have any like public walking by or security telling you can't shoot there, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah,
and if you
it
put
does.
a little bit of planning in it as well for a decent location, you can get some really, really, really good results.
Absolutely.
I've not got any weddings booked for next year, and I say thankfully.
Wow.
Oh no, yes I have. Shut up.
Is that
Yeah,
is
I've
that
got
through
one.
choice or?
No, I just remembered I've got one in November. Yeah, I may have a smaller one, but it's weird weddings with me. I don't normally get booked into like till the year, like normally wedding photographers. I don't do a lot, probably 3 or 4 a year maximum, because it's a long day. Like
It is,
if you
yeah.
can, if you 4 days of a con is basically the same as 1 day as a wedding for a photographer, and then you've got 2 weeks afterwards of editing, which people always forget about. But next year, like I've got an out of con shoot straight in on the 9th of January. I'm doing my first one. So I should be doing quite a few next year, hopefully. Have I just frozen as well? Oh
Essentially.
Your
no,
video has.
my
Your
video is
audio's still
frozen.
on.
How
Yeah.
strange. I shall reset my video. Is it going to work, or is my battery just gone?
That might be the way it is, yeah.
That might be a white froze.
But yeah, you get maximum 2 hours, don't you? Bear with me.
Yeah.
I've got another one kicking about. Sorry, what were we talking about? Next
You were
year.
talking about
Oh,
Yeah, you were talking
um,
about out of con
yeah,
shoots and whatnot.
First out of con shoots on the 9th. I got one in London. A couple in March, and then there's a studio near me which I'm going to use quite regularly, I think, as well. So yeah, next year definitely shoot with more people that I'm not done with. I'm definitely going to go out my comfort zone next year as well.
Yeah.
And then all the
Cool.
secret cons and God knows what else I'm doing next year. It's going to be a busy one.
Nice.
I've had a bit
What
of a
about
chill
you,
one this
Dan?
year.
What have you got planned for next year?
Next year, Jesus. I'll try and do it in chronological order if I can to remember.
I mean, first of all, what have you done sort of out of con wise this year?
Out of con, I've shot with Rob a couple of times out of con, BHC Rob. I have done that stunt course in Scotland last week, like the show stunt thing.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. I'm back there in April next year to do like a 3-day one. What else have we done? A couple of like film event premiere type things. I feel like I'm missing something quite significant, but yeah, I don't know. Just a few shoots out.
You're not getting married, are you?
No, not again. And what did I do? Oh, I did some promo stuff for Fair Club as well. So yeah, I've been doing some stuff with them.
Nice.
Pretty good. So
I did the you did the shoot with Simone as well, didn't you? That was cool.
yeah, I did shoot with Simone and Flo as well. Yeah, that was really good. Obviously, really, really good. So that was like pretty big for me. So
before we jump onto your 2026 agenda, how did you first get involved in the sort of the Fake Club stuff? Because I know that I've seen that come up, and I've got a few friends that do this sort of similar thing. But I'm kind of curious because obviously we've talked a lot about photography side of things, but obviously this year you were doing a lot of promotion in regards to the Fake Club and bits and pieces like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what it is. To be fair,
like it's basically fantasy style ball event parties, with like a bit of a show in between and everything, nights and events. So, it's catered for more like, I guess, the bookish community, and fantasy community. So, a lot of people who've read like A Court of Thorn and Roses, Throne of Glass, whatever it might be. It's their kind of vibe, So, but it's not limited to that. Anybody who's into a fantasy night out, it's the one to go to. There's other events as well, but I don't speak about them. I only speak about Fair Club. To answer your question, like for getting into it, I have a friend called Holly, Holly Simone, not Holly Lowe, who basically put me forward with Elle, I guess, who runs Fair Club, and they were like, "You fancy doing some promo stuff with us?" I was like, "Yeah," because I wanted to go to one of the balls anyway, and they do some other events like the Lion Solstice where you do like sword fighting and all sorts, And I was like, I really want to go. And then when they asked me, I was like, yeah, like get me there, So that's it, really.
Nice.
So you kind of looking at doing some more sort of that sort of stuff next year with them, or
Yeah,
you
definitely.
kind of...
There's one, like with all that sort of community, I'm not allowed to speak about because there's like an NDA on it. So, but it'll be exciting and it'll be good. And that'll be maybe doing a bit of filming in May time, but I'm not really allowed to say anything about that. As much as I can say.
No, we're not going to pressure on that.
Yeah, and then there's the Fair Club Fantasy Ball, which I did the promo for, is in April. That's April the 11th, which I will obviously be going to. They've got another event in August as well, called the Lion Solstice. So I missed it this year, and I was gutted. But they brought it back for 26, so I'm definitely going to go to that.
Nice.
Like the loot box were there, and I can't remember basically like some knights who do all sorts for you, and put a show on and everything. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, because I know this has been a thing that's been quite popular, because I know Steph's been very much into these things.
Yeah.
I've got a few friends, Amy and Char, they do the ones down south quite a bit as well. So I know this, again, with the whole Comic-Cons and Photocons, this is also another avenue for a lot of sort of cosplay side of things that have been coming around quite a lot lately, which is, I think it was quite small over the last couple of years, and then it's really started to hit with the popularity.
Yeah, it's growing, isn't it?
Sort of 12 months or something like that.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, it's all huge now, and that's a similar thing to like Comic-Cons. There's a fantasy ball type event popping up all the time now. Sometimes there's 2 a month, 3 a month, and everyone's trying to achieve the same thing. Everyone's a fan of the same thing, but it's like you're also competing, I guess, with each other. So, and it spreads everything out again, where you'd have everybody thinking, we need to go to the main one. Now everyone's like, oh, there's a smaller local one that might be a bit cheaper.
Because it's all money, isn't it? Like all of these things cost money to attend, so it just thins it out further.
And as soon as you commercialize it, you're going to get them popping up all over the place.
Exactly. What about you, Switch? What have you done out of con this year?
I was going to say, should we let Dan finish for his 2026 agenda?
Well, we'll come on to 2026 as a whole, I think, in a minute.
Okay, so for me this year, oh God, I said last year that I would try and calm down this year, but it seemed like I've gone at the same sort of pace I did the year before, just not as many cons. So we've done.
Welcome to being a photographer.
Oh,
yeah.
Last 4 years of being a photographer. Yeah, still, yeah. I've done a lot more out of cons, sort of location shoots. I've done a few studio shoots. I've done a few paid shoots, both within the boudoir industry as well as cosplay. Again, something similar. I kind of like the boudoir side of things for my body positivity side. Some of it I can post, some of it I can't post. I know at the start of the year I did a lot of work with some OF sort of models and did a few events with them and bits and pieces for content days for them. So I did 2 of them at the beginning of last year, or this year, sorry. Yeah, kind of focusing more on trying to do more of my own sort of bits and pieces. Also, I did a lot more location stuff because I got some fantastic locations around my area. So I'm down in the southeast of the UK, where there's a lot of films and TV series that get filmed around my area. So sometimes we can utilize some of them areas where they're not in a scheduled shooting point of time, where I can kind of go out to and shoot myself. That's really nice results from them. And I think, like you were saying, Tom, it's like I could really put in the time, like with a couple of cosplayers, and go, half a day or a few hours, and we're really just focusing on just them, and we get some really good quality stuff back, which we can't necessarily get at a con. Not from a lack of trying. It's a different vibe, different feel, different backgrounds. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, I've done MegaCon London, MegaCon Farnborough, MCM London, both May and October. I've done obviously MCM Birmingham. I joined Darren out in France at Focus Cosplay, the European photo event. Really sort of my aim this year was really trying to work on my feel and vibe things to progress and try and start looking at doing like the European stuff as well, which we'll also get into when I start talking about 2026 in a bit.
Cool. So looking ahead to 2026, Dan, you said you had like a chronological order. It sounds like you've kind of got your year planned out, really.
Yeah, I was trying to, and like, I think Pie's coming to quite a few of these events, but he doesn't really know some of them.
Have you told him yet?
And he keeps messaging me. He's like, I need to know.
Are you going to tell him like before we launch this episode next week?
I might have to. Well, I'm going to meet him at the pub after I've done this. So.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's fine then.
Well, he's probably half cut now, so I'll be like, he'll agree.
Yeah, he will be.
So, yeah, I've got. I think I'm going to skip MegaCon in January. Just because I want a long break, I'm going to Scotland next week over Christmas, and I'm just going to have a reset, spend time with family and stuff and everything. Skip that, and then my next event's April, the ball. April, May will be. I'm doing some filming for something, and then the end of May is obviously MCM London. June, I believe, is Secret Con at the castle.
Yeah.
Which I'll be going to as well because I love that venue.
You're not doing the bunker then, Dan?
Nah, like I feel like I just don't have enough time next year.
No.
I haven't got enough
Plus,
time.
he's already got to come down relatively not long after that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I also think with your focus on the fantasy style, it probably doesn't suit the venue either, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. So there'll be Secret Con at Hogton Tower. I'll be doing both days of that because I only did one day last time, and it's such a good venue. Like,
yeah,
I felt like in a rush that day, So, go back to that. Then July is Fantasy Forest, Sudley Hall, which is the original one, which I love. And you've got after that is August, which will be Fair Club, Lion Solstice, and Gamescom in Germany, and then obviously MCM Birmingham's then, but I won't be going to that. I need to squeeze a family holiday in there as well. I'm going to Disney in February as well, I think. Somewhere in there. My missus will remind me. And then September will be Fantasy Forest Libertalia, which is the new one.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Be going to that. Then October is obviously MCM again.
Yeah.
I've got the Witcher in concert in October as well. And nice. I've also got there's a Witcher LARP event, but it's not actually LARPing. It's like a massive. They're setting like a castle up and everything. It's like a photography event with some music, and I don't know. That's in Germany, at a castle in Germany. So I'll send you the details on that later. Actually, because you might be quite interested in that.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
So yeah, there's that as well, and then some out of con shoots in between, and maybe some more promo stuff in between for different things. Yeah, nice. That's 26 at the minute.
Wow.
Stacked as it is.
Yeah.
So I don't want to think about like adding anything else in. You know, as soon as someone's like, fancy this, I'm like, no, I'm too. It's too.
So
you're also committed to a Witcher project that is obviously being planned at the
Yeah.
Yeah,
minute.
there's a Witcher project you guys mentioned, so there's that as well. There'll be your wedding as well.
Yeah. I was going to remind you of these when I get to my 2026.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, you've got the odd other event as well. Like, this is the thing. Once I've done Fantasy Forest, I'm like, ooh, Ren fairs are a thing now that I want to go to. So then there's like, you know, there's the medieval fair, English medieval fair. And then I want to go to Warwick Castle. And then there's the Lockswood Joust. And then you just end up snowballing.
Everything. Yeah. Of course it does.
And it's a created curse.
Yeah. So Tom, any plans for next year? Or are you just playing? You're just going to wing it?
Yeah, I mean, probably all the Birmingham cons I'll do because it's like, you know, it's only 20 minutes up the
Local,
road
yeah.
from me, so it's not a massive issue. Both Fantasy Forests, Houghton Tower. I might do the Bunker Secret Con because I missed it last year.
Should do.
That one depends with me. It depends on the cosplayers that are going, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like what if the cosplay suits the venue.
Yeah.
If there's more, then I'll definitely consider it.
Some of what I have seen so far, we have got some really fantastic cosplayers going. I'm not just saying that because it's my event, but the Bunker does attract a very different type of cosplayer. And it's a really interesting venue to shoot in, actually.
It really throws you out of your comfort zone a little bit as well because
it does,
of the
but
nature
I also
of it.
think it'll shoot your style, Tom, to be fair.
Yeah, there are a lot of people have said that, especially from the last one.
Yeah, with your style of lighting and
depending on what style I wake up with that day.
there is that. There is that.
Yeah, I'm considering it. I've got a few bits planned next year. Like I said, I just remembered the wedding and such.
Yeah.
That link, I don't know whether you saw that link, that studio, but like, it's almost like a car studio. I've got a few shoots planned in there already. I am probably going to wing it like I normally do, but then end up being really, really busy like I normally do.
I also think your style would really suit some of the European events.
Yeah. I tried the last MCM. I tried to mix it up a bit with how I shoot because I was using sunlight as well as my lights.
Yeah.
And some of them, or one of them, I've even put it on my purple port. I was so impressed with it. It just works so well. With one of the Elven King one that I think I named Scarlet's Law. I love that picture so much. Probably one of my favorite of the year.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm going to try and mix it up, see what happens. Not going to commit to loads and loads of things because also trying to save it for a house and stuff like that. So yeah, adulting.
My next year is already looking just ridiculous, to be fair.
Always positive.
Yeah, I mean, January. So I'm doing a studio day. No, sorry, I pushed that back to February. So January, I've got MegaCon London, which I wasn't going to do MegaCon. I wasn't going to do many mainstream events in the UK at all. But someone we know, a friend of ours, is doing a stage performance. So I'm going to MegaCon January. February, I'm doing a studio day out in Vienna, which will be good fun. End of Feb, I've got another Spores Day. We're doing another Hannibal project. We've got a massive house that we've hired for like 4 or 5 days up in the Lake District. So that's going to be great. March is Secret Con. Then April is Picvicia out in Switzerland. Then a week later, well, not even a week later, 2 days after I get back, it's Switch's wedding. So that's going to be busy.
I would book 2 flights just in case.
Because I'm going with him.
Oh,
I would book 4 flights just in case.
just say fuck it and just drive the hire car back and pay the fine. Then May, I've applied for Volta. I don't know whether I'm going to get in because they pushed the announcements back till January. That was supposed to be this Sunday, but they pushed the
7th.
announcement back till the 7th of Jan. I'm not going to do MCM London as it stands at the moment. June, Secret Con. July is my 50th, so we're going to Norway for a few days. What else? August, potentially MCM Birmingham, but I also do like the idea of Gamescom. September will be Focus again, so I'll be applying for that. Then sort of December, I don't know whether I'll do the second MegaCon Birmingham. Oh, also March MegaCon Birmingham. I don't know whether I'll do that. Depends on time. I might go for a day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Just to sort of catch up with people. But then outside of that, we've got the Nexus stuff that me and Switch are doing. We've also got the Witcher project. We've also got a list as long as your arm of other projects we're doing. I want to do a tanks-based day at some point next year, which is an absolute must. There's also a project that I've been putting off for far too long now, which is based around the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling, that I'm shooting with Carlos and Troy, that we're finally going to get off the ground. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I'm missing, because next year is just horrendous. But I want to spend more time being creative, more time doing European events, more time doing creative out-of-con shoots, really, is the plan for me next year.
Stop calling it horrendous then and start calling it busy.
Well,
it's going to be busy no matter
horrendously
what.
busy in a good way. Yeah. Creatively focused, I think we will say. Yeah, I'm going to be spending a lot less time at UK mainstream conventions, is essentially. I mean, even at Secret Con, I will probably be shooting less and focusing more on the running of the events, because I won't need the content, so I won't feel under pressure as much to shoot at my own events. And I always struggle to shoot at Secret Con events anyway, because I'm always looking out for what's going on, making sure things are running smoothly, catching up with the team, making sure everything is okay. And so it'd be nice to not have that pressure to shoot. I'll be doing a couple of shoots, but that'll probably be about it. Secret Con, I think, for both Bunker and Houghton Tower. But it's going to be a busy, but it's going to be a fun year. So, Switch, finish with you.
I've got a funny feeling I haven't got much planned in regards to, say, conventions. I have made a promise that I would cut back on mainstreams and start focusing on other things like projects, bits and pieces. So originally I was going to go for a day down in MegaCon London, because obviously I'm relatively close to it, but it depends on the work situation if I get the day off or not. I don't know yet. I won't know till the new year. So that's a bit of a 50-50. I literally have a studio shoot on the 11th of Jan, which got booked in this week. So that'll be good. Now February, I'm not going to go through months like Darren did, because I don't actually know yet, because I haven't looked at a calendar. So I'm going to stick with sort of like, if I go MCM, both London in May and in October, if I do attend, I'll attend for a day and I'll leave my camera at home. I've literally said I will be attending these just for social visits. You might actually catch me in cosplay, because because I am planning return to doing some cosplays. So I guess that's what I'm trying to work on this in the new year. But yeah, March, Bunker, do Secret Con there all weekend. April, as Darren's already said, I'm going out with him to Vita over in Switzerland, and then a few days later getting married. So that will be a busy one. But what's quite funny is you laugh at me coming back a couple of days beforehand, but Steph's also very busy doing other things because she was going to come with us out to Switzerland. But she actually has other things planned in her diary, and the weekend after, she's also got a busy weekend. So we're literally only going to see each other the weekend of the wedding, and then we won't see each other again. I mean, I think I'm trying to work more on projects. So I might attend a Birmingham event here and there. So maybe a MegaCon, but if I do, it's a day. Same with the MCM in Birmingham, it'll be a day from a mainstream event. And again, I won't be taking camera. I'll just be going to socialize. I feel like I have to emphasize that to myself because I know what I'm like. I'll take a camera and then I'll work it. So by leaving it at home, I won't shoot it. Like we said earlier, in the process of planning the picture shoot, Dan, a few others, Pi. It's got bigger than we originally thought, so there's a whole planning stage, and obviously we're waiting for Volta news to come out to figure out when in the year we're going to try and plan
exactly where we're going to slot it in.
So I'm going to try and attend Volta if I get lucky and accepted. I'll be in May. I'm also going to apply for Focus, so it's going to be in September. I was tempted to apply for the one out in Poland, which was Pixelmania. Was it Pixelmania?
Pixelmania, yeah.
I think because that's just opened up for submissions, but I think I'm going to leave that one.
But that's just after when we'd come back from my birthday.
And yeah, so I've also gone out with Darren for his birthday. I've got other projects. We also got a project with Troy for Daredevil shoot. We've got that being planned.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of planning we've also got a Supergirl shoot that we've peer pressured someone into doing, which is not her genre, but she has the right attitude for it. So she's willing to do that.
Definitely,
so
that's going to be a good one.
Got that one. I'm in the process of planning a Lara Croft shoot. So I think what I'm doing next year is I'm trying to focus more on specific
creativity
areas that I'm interested in, working with a few random cosplayers who I have worked with predominantly in the past. But
one that we haven't mentioned yet is the one that we were talking about doing out in Poland, which is the Mad Max one.
Yes, I have actually forgot about that. Yeah, again, Mad Max.
So we want to do a shoot based around the game version of Mad Max, but we want to do it. We've got a guy, it's a contact of mine that I met through the European cons who does a lot of the fire effects for the European photo cons. I've actually become quite good friends with him. So we're gonna find a location in Poland and do a Mad Max game shoot out there with like fire and some really cool effects. So that should be fun. Again, we just got to plan around time when we're not doing other things.
So I think, I think also for next year, a lot of my focus will be going into Nexus as well, trying to get Nexus events up and running and other projects that we've got with Nexus. Because as we alluded, Nexus isn't going to just be themed events. There's also going to be courses. There's going to be
like workshops.
There's going to be trips out. Hopefully we can get it sorted, be trips out to like France or something like that, and a weekend of models and a handful of photographers to do bits and pieces around.
Yeah, we wanted to do like a non-cosplay model based workshop tour out in Spain. So like 4 days out in Spain at a villa. So that's another one that we're going to do where we'll have a couple of models. So we'll sell space to photographers, probably up to about 6 photographers. So that's another project that we've got. We're probably towards the autumn time next year, I think, for that. But yeah, busy.
So everyone's busy then, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of that I'll get done in 26? I don't know.
it sounds like we're all busy in good ways and branching out to some things that we don't necessarily do sort of year on year, which is great. So we'll come on to Switch. Did you say we'd got some Q&As from our audience?
I've got a couple of questions. So just load them up. So this one's from Miguel. He was on the podcast a few months back. Bigger and better projects, but more independent. A much better year in personal life. So I think what the original question kind of was is what's your wrap up for 2025? And what you're looking forward to in 2026. So obviously he's come in and said that, you know, a bigger and better year for projects, and more of a personal and better situation in personal life. I can
Nice.
kind of relate to that. I think a lot of us
Yeah,
can
I think
probably.
that's the same for most of us, to be fair. I think we've all come out of this year doing a lot, but also learning a lot, maybe about ourselves, I think would be fair to say. I think I've probably learned more about myself in the last 2 years as a creative than I have in all the time I've been doing this. So
Yeah, definitely. And then we've got Rami's come back and basically said that, you know, he's looking forward into secret cons and more out of con shoots. So, you know, that's great to hear. More people, sounds like more people are trying to branch out and do more project work
cool.
away from mainstream cons. And I'm not saying that is a negative thing. It just looks
No,
like people are trying to obviously
no.
expand.
But I think that kind of supports what we've all said today, and that people are sort of branching out more into more creative outlets, which is great to hear.
And this is more of a question towards all of us sort of thing now. So, what film are you most looking forward to watching in 2026? Dan, let's go with you first. What sort of film are you looking forward to in 2026 so far?
Is the Odyssey's out next year?
Yeah.
It is, yes,
July,
the Christopher
yeah.
Nolan Odyssey, yes.
So there you go. The Odyssey for me, definitely. Nolan's a genius, isn't he? And
Oh, yeah.
I'm really excited to see what he does with that.
I mean, that's got a jam-packed cast as well. Some
Yeah,
really
been-
solid names in that film.
Yeah, so I'm all over that.
Nice. Tom, yourself?
That and Mortal Kombat 2.
And
Yeah.
Aaron?
It's going to seem like a bit of a strange one for me because I don't normally go down this route, but Supergirl. I have seen so much positive visuals from this movie. I'm not normally a sort of like I do some great Superman shoots with Troy and a couple of other people, but I'm not normally much of a fan in this area. But I am really looking forward to Supergirl next year. I think Millie Alcock is the perfect role for the way they're trying to portray the character. The visuals and the way they're trying to make this look just looks absolutely fantastic, to the point where it's literally sparked off a creative shoot for next year with myself and Switch and the cosplayer. But also the other one, as Tom has already said, is Mortal Kombat 2.
I think for me, I'm on the same. My original one when I read the question was I jumped straight to Supergirl, and it's very similar. As I really enjoyed Superman this year, and I'm really enjoying where sort of James Gunn's taken the direction of the DC side of things, and like you said, the visuals from it has sparked off so many ideas, and obviously Emilia as well. You can't go wrong there. So that was originally going to be my big pick, but then I also forgot about Odyssey. That actually, the fact that that's been quite quiet over the last however long. That's actually got a bit of hype in there. I know they've just dropped a new poster for it, I think today or yesterday, which that's another one I'm actually really hyped for seeing. Again, a part of me really doesn't want to see a trailer for it just because I want to kind of go into it not knowing anything, which is very rare for me. But I think he dropped a teaser that like the trailer was going to be like 5 minutes long or something like that with the first one he drops. But like Dan said, you know, it's Christopher Nolan. You can't really go massively
Apparently
wrong with
they're
it.
doing a prologue when people go and watch Avatar a lot of people are getting to watch the first 5 minutes of Odyssey or something.
That might be what it is.
Yeah.
I know I should be excited for Avengers, but the way that Marvel's kind of been going over the last couple of years,
I'm kind of done with
not.
that.
I'm all marveled out, me.
Yeah,
I've invested my
Same.
10 years in Marvel
Deadpool and Wolverine was
after
like
Endgame. Then I'm
the nail in the coffin for me, and I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine, but it was just everywhere. Like, I'm probably going to get crucified for this, but I'm like,
yeah, I think
I think
Deadpool
really
Wolverine for
interested
me
in
was
it.
a nice end, and that's it. But yeah,
I was kind of disappointed. Like this year, like I was actually quite excited for the Fantastic Four because I knew it was going to be outside of the main Marvel universe. But I went and saw it. As good as it was as a film, I also walked away going, "That's just a filler."
It was not.
I've still not seen it.
I was like, why did I go to the cinema to see it? Sort of thing.
I wasn't that impressed with it. It didn't.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, it's all right. Like,
no, it just
know,
in my
when I watch
opinion,
again,
it could have been so much better.
Yeah, it's just oversaturated, isn't it? Whether you're going, it's a cinema release or it's a series on Disney Plus. I'm like, oh, come on, like.
Yeah, that to me, that film could have been made into 3 half-an-hour episodes, and then it looked like a TV show. It was made to look like a TV show.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be made into a film.
I just feel like I said, I feel like it was a filler for the Doomsday, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It just didn't have that grip, and I think. I mean, it's a question for me for you guys is, what was one film this year that really stood out for you?
One I watched recently, well, apart from Frankenstein, which I think is probably one of the most visually stunning films I've ever seen. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of it. It was the latest Leonardo DiCaprio film.
The
One Battle After Another.
Oh, okay.
Just a completely different film. You don't know what you're expecting to go into, but the cinematography, the script, the story is relevant to today, especially what's going on in America. But yeah, it's well worth a watch. It's a long film, but it's Oscar worthy, I would say. Not that means anything anymore, but yeah.
No. Dan, yourself, any ideas?
Honestly, because I don't remember what I watched in 25 and what I watched in 2024, because everything just seems to merge together.
It's a bit of a blur, isn't it?
So I'm like, was that 25? Was that 24? I don't know. I've watched. God, I watched so many movies. I did.
It doesn't have to be like a theater release. It could be any sort of movie that you've seen this year.
So for the first time this year, I watched Schindler's List, actually. Which, you know, just to depress everybody. And I waited so long to watch it, and I was like, Jesus, that's like pretty amazing, you know. That was good. Frankenstein was obviously brilliant as well. But movie-wise this year, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm probably missing something really major, you know. Like, did Oppenheimer come out this year, or was that last year?
That was like 3 years ago.
I don't even know. So yeah,
it's the age catching up with you, man.
I know. I don't go to cinema much anymore. Like, unless it's something I'm like, I need to see that in the cinema. I need to see that in IMAX. Like Dune 2, for example, had to see it in IMAX. You know, because it's amazing. It's a film for IMAX, isn't it? You know. But God, I should have been more prepared for that question, really, but yeah,
that's why I like it, because it's a little bit off, like it's trying to get you off on a hot take on it.
Quick, off the cuff.
More this year, I've been going back over and trying to tick off films like classics that I should have seen years ago, you know. So like, you know, A Bronx Tale, movies like that. Dead Poet Society is. I watched it years and years ago, but I rewatched it again this year for the first time in years, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. Like, I love that film, and similar things to that, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, it works.
I'll waffle now.
That's fine. Darren?
For me, Predator Badlands.
Still haven't seen that yet.
I really wanted my favorite film this year to be Tron Ares. However, I watched Tron Ares the other week, and whilst it was an okay film, I did come away from it feeling somewhat disappointed. And I'm gutted. I wanted it to be my film of the year. So I'm a massive Tron fan. Predator Badlands was the real surprise for me. I came out of that movie wanting to instantly watch it again.
I was the opposite.
Well, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you know me, I'm a massive Predator fan, right?
Mm.
To me, it was a
Same.
fantastic Badlands film, but a bad Predator film.
Yeah, I can kind of see why you might say that.
As much as there was so much lore in it and everything about predators and the voucher and everything, it just obviously they can't do the same thing over and over again. Put loads of marines in a jungle and predator. They have to go a different venue. I thought the series that they did on Disney, the Predator animation.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. Killer Killers or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought
Killer Killers.
I enjoyed that more.
Wow.
Than Badlands.
I mean, I loved Killer of Killers. I thought it was fantastic. One of the things I liked about Badlands was that forget Alien versus Predator, because that was dog shit. All the Predator films previously have focused a lot on the human element, and the Predator as just that, someone that wants to kill and hunt. What I liked about this was it added a bit of extra depth.
Yeah, we've got
and
the
extra
lore
layers
about
to
the tribes and stuff.
to the creature, the species. But I also did like how they mingled more of the alien world in without it being an Alien versus Predator. So yeah, for me, I loved it, particularly coming from the Alien series this year, which I absolutely loved, which was one of my favorite TV shows this year. So yeah, for me, that was great. So
episode 6 was the best.
You already said your favorite film?
No. So I think my favorite film, and it's for a couple of reasons. I think from a film that's got released this year, was Superman for me this year. I don't think there was that many great films that came out in the cinema that I'd seen. The reason I've chosen this one is, as a parent, I grew up with Christopher Reeves, and I loved the Superman films there. So this was brilliant for me because I got to take my son to see a Superman film for the first sort of time. And for me, that was what made that film great for me, because he sat there and he just thoroughly enjoyed just the pure enjoyment of the film. And he also loved taking the piss out of Holly as well, because she was crying throughout the film. So my child was sat next to Steph and Holly throughout the film. And yeah, he was in balls of laughter watching Holly cry her way through the film. But for me, that was probably the highlight of my year. Don't get me wrong, it's not the perfect movie, but I got to share something from my childhood with my son that I really loved when I was younger. He got to experience something similar. So that's kind of the reason why I went with Superman this year.
That's fair.
And it also surprised me as well. I was actually pleasantly surprised how actually better it was than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I've actually still not watched it. I tried to watch it one night when I was very, very drunk, and I just couldn't get into it. And I didn't think it was fair to say that it was a bad film. So I will give it a go. Probably sometime over Christmas, actually. So yeah, okay. I think we've had a pretty good chat, to be fair. I mean, as always, I've been your host, iPhoto UK, and we've had Switch _8.9 or _GN or whichever one he wants to go by today. Um,
That's all it is. It's just 89.
We've also had two awesome guests. So, Dan, once again, give everybody your socials.
Yep, Kaermorhen.cos on TikTok and Instagram. So that's me.
We've had Tom.
Yep, clicks_83 on Instagram, Facebook, Purpleport, and wherever else you can think of.
Amazing. Well, we've been Cosplay, Togs, and All Things Nerdy. We'll be back in the new year, unless we decide to do a bit of a nerdy episode sometime between the Christmas break, which we may well do. There's been lots of movies and TV shows out since we last spoke, so who knows if we're bored over Christmas. But if not, I
Goes to
hope
a Stranger
everyone...
Things catch up.
Absolutely, yeah. And Fallout as well.
And Spartacus.
Yeah.
Spartacus, yeah.
House of Asher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, we need to do another nerdy episode. So yes, I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas, holidays, whatever you want to call it. And we will see you all on the other side. Have a great Christmas and a wonderful New Year.